We're disembodied ghosts. Let me drop us into the studio here.
Yeah, no problem, bro.
My
Were
bro
you?
Rad, what's going on?
What's going on, dude? Did you read? Shout out to JS. Shout out to the chat. Did you
Yeah, I
read
mean,
a little bit about what's going on?
no, man, I was getting ready for. I had to set this whole thing up.
Oh,
That's what it
okay.
took me. That's the time it took me. However, I did browse through some of it while you guys were discussing things on the other live, and
hmm
yeah, this is crazy. This is crazy. How much of it have you read?
Um, I saw a 5 minute clip that pretty much explains everything, and
Mhm.
I got some things to say.
Like what?
I got some. No, no. Let's get into it first. Let's get
All
into
right.
it first.
Now the thing is, now the thing
Shout
is,
out to
if
Denise. Shout out to you.
oh, Denise is in the chat. All
Yeah.
right, Denise, and we can have guests too. You know, that's no problem. But here's the thing. I mean, first of all, we're coming from a previous live for those of you who are just catching up with us. But let's do this telepathically, all right? So we got telepathic powers. That's why you don't see our mouths move. Not that StreamYard doesn't have mo caption for our faces, all right? It's just telepathy. Now, the thing is, we're coming from another live where we were having the normal humdrum, run of the mill conversation about race and do African Americans have culture. And Rad came in and dropped the bombshell. Rad came in and said, "Wait a minute. Do you guys remember The Office?" We're like, "Of course we remember The Office." And Rad is like, "Well, you girls are not going to believe this.
Girl,
Girl,
let me
y'all not
tell
going to
you.
believe this."
First of all, you ready for some tea, girl? You ready for some tea? Are you ready for tea?
You
Ooh, this tea's hot. This
But we
tea's
can't
hot.
drop the T yet because apparently all of the other people, we only have 4 people in here. We had like 30 people in the other live. You guys need to get it together. Oh my god.
Oh
Get it
my
together.
god.
Get it together. This is the new live. But yeah, see, only JS says I'm the only one who never watched The Office. See, that's the thing. I only watched like maybe one. No, maybe like
Nah,
three episodes. That was your shit?
used to watch The Office a lot. Like, I understand white people humor is very dry.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. And to me, humor is humor. So I resonated some of it
No, I
with it.
mean, if you get it, you get it, and that's fine. And
Yeah.
it's not that I didn't get The Office. When I watched it, I liked it. It's just not something I actually looked out for.
Thirty
It's not
percent
like
of my DNA got it. You know what I mean? So
oh my god, your DNA split got it. Hey, Shivo, at least gave you the stamp that you might one day can become Dominican.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
he's like, you're not black, you're not
yeah.
black, and that's a no no. That's a no no.
hmm
Hey, there's an
hmm
echo. You have an extra tab open?
No, no, I'm just speaking with you through my headphones.
Okay.
I hear the echo too,
You hear
so
the echo? I don't know
yeah.
what's going on. I hope it's not me. Let me see. Good. Nope. I have. Let me unplug and replug, and the. Hopefully, it gets the. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, perfect.
Uh,
No more echo. Hopefully, it gets the audience the time to roll
yeah,
back in here. Jeez,
yeah.
maybe we need some sort of advertisement platform or something like that. Go to the new. I thought they were paying attention.
I don't think they
But
were.
oh man, because we're not gonna
It's all
drop the
good
news
though.
right here with 5 people. You want to drop the news with
Yeah,
five,
yeah,
five
yeah,
people,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then it's
yeah.
for the playback. All right, no doubt.
Yeah,
All right, let's do this.
yeah. That's the whole point of YouTube is to play back, right?
All right, yeah, hell yeah, hell. Let's do this like Brutus. All right, let's do this. Hold on. Let me sit. Let me share this. This is gonna be. This is insane. You think you know people, you know? Hold on.
I actually met her one time.
You met her one time?
Yeah.
That's the female lead in there, right? The it girl. That's not the
No,
it girl.
no, she's not in the office. No, she's not.
Yeah. Then what is she?
She is. I'm gonna say there's a couple. There's a couple of characters in the office, but the main lead was Michael Scott. Steve Carell was the
Mhm.
main lead.
No, no.
Everybody,
Okay, the young. All right, the young
every,
guy and the young girl. Who are they? She
oh,
was the young girl,
that's
right?
no, the young guy was Jim. The other young girl was Pam. That those were the love couples or whatever the case is.
Yeah, the love. Okay, so this is somebody else.
Everybody was their own character, and they were like secondary characters. You know,
Oh, okay. See, that's the thing. You have to brush us up on the Office and stuff like that, and we can't play videos from the Office here
obviously.
because, yeah, But at the very least, I think we can get away with maybe some stills, maybe some voiceovers. We'll see what's what. Meanwhile, though, how come? Hold on, Rad. That Afro DNA. I got it. You know.
Nah,
Hold
it's all
on.
good.
Okay.
It's all
Okay.
good,
Okay.
bro.
So it's right here, and then where's the Office? Because I had a tab open here. That's crazy. I couldn't believe the hell I just heard. Hold on. The Office cake, because that's what I looked it up on under, and I found it. Office KKK princess. Oh, it says KKK queen. Office KKK queen. On
Mm-hmm.
wow, it's all over the news.
Mm-hmm.
What in the hell happened?
Yep.
The Chinese are right, man. We live in interesting times. You know how they say, may you live in interesting times, right? And
Mm-hmm.
we do. Hold on one second. Add to the stream. Can you see the stream? Can you see the
Yeah.
lead end page? All right.
Yeah.
Let me go there now. Okay, these are the top stories for everyone. The Office star Ellie Kemper. Fans discover she was queen of racist ball. Yeah, but it has to be her. That has to be the it girl. Look, that's the image. Can you see it?
Yeah, but
That's not the girl who's there that
she's not.
everybody wanted or
She's not
nothing
the
like that.
no. She's not
Oh,
the
that's not
main.
her. Okay,
No,
okay.
she's not the main girl. But read it. Read it, bro.
All right, let me read. Let me read this. Oh my God. Yeah, why don't we? How does that guy? Does the the Office voice? Hold on. Hidden past. The Office star Ellie Kemper's fans discover she was queen of racist ball where members wore KKK style hoods. Yo, all right. Actress Ellie Kemper has come under scrutiny after fans discovered that the Office star had been crowned Queen of Racist Ball, where members wore KKK style hoods. The star, born in Kansas, she's 41, started trending on Twitter yesterday after fans found a picture of her as Queen of controversial St. Louis veiled Prophet Ball in 1999. She's cute too. That's a damn shame. Ellie Kemper as Erin Hannon in The Office episode promos.
That image right there that you see
Yeah.
with the
What's
hood,
that?
it's a hood with a shotgun and
Oh, Shiza.
a shotgun, a hood, and
Yeah.
a
And
pistol.
then some sort of pistol. Yeah.
And that was the image that they used all the way throughout the years as this ball, and that is the image that they basically promoted. The queen of the ball is supposed to be a
Wow.
representation of that image. It changed.
What?
It changed throughout the years, but that was the conception of the image. It changed around, I believe, the late '80s.
Holy mother. A depiction of a veiled prophet. Twitter users flocked to comment on the photo, some to call out Kemper for racist links and being dubbed Queen of Love and Beauty, and others to highlight the importance of facts before jumping to on the trend. I don't get the dubbed Queen of Love thing, but you know what? Let's move on. One user said, people are really trying to make a case that this tradition Ellie Kemper participated in wasn't created by the clan or at least clan adjacent. I like that, clan adjacent. Another agreed, it really is something that Ellie Kemper was the star of a TV show about a woman who leaves a racist cult and tries to rebrand herself while pretending it never happened. No wonder why I'm bringing this up, of course. No reason. Oh, no reason why I'm bringing this up. Of course, they're trying to be funny. reception. So this is her, Ellie Kemper as Erin Hannon in The Office, Gossip, in the episode Gossip. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean she looks amenable enough, you know. Oh wow, I feel bad for her, by the way.
No,
I mean, it's
finish
her
though.
past. Hopefully, oh, let's finish. All right, all
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah. Finish
Yeah,
it because I'm gonna.
before I feel bad for her, right? All right,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because
but
there's more to the story.
all right, hold on. But other were quick to others garbage tier. But others higher people, the son. Others were quick to defend her and clarify. One said, "I spent 10 years in my life in St. Louis, including the time she's talking about, and I'm familiar with the Veiled Prophet Ball. Even knew people who attended it. I'm pretty sure, as far as we knew it, it was just a debutante ball for the society folks." Yeah, I don't know, fam. Another said, to be accurate, the Veiled Prophet Ball is an event run by classist and admittedly racist ultra wealthy families in St. Louis, and is quite a stretch to call Ellie a so called KKK princess based on her selection as queen in 1999. That's kind of contradictory, right? What is the Veiled Prophet Ball, and does it have links to the KKK? Every 4th of July, downtown St. Missouri comes alive with music, hot air balloons, and fireworks, and food for the St. Louis Fair, formerly known as the Prophet Veil Ball until the early 1990s, The Atlantic reports. That is a mouthful, the son. It started in 1878 when grain executive and former Confederate cavalryman Charles Slayback called a meeting of local business and civic leaders. The office from left to right. All right, that's cast of the eye. His intention was to form a secret society that would blend the pomp and ritual of the New Orleans Mardi Gras. It turned into an elaborate ritual where someone from a secret board of local elites would be chosen to anonymously play the role of the veiled prophet. The veiled prophet would choose a queen of love and beauty, which Ellie Kemper was selected at age 19 from among the elite ball attendees, with whom he would dance a royal quadrille before presenting her with an expensive keepsake such as a tiara or pearls. The fair, the fair been, oh boy, the fair's been garbage tier. The fair has been long associated with its secretive nature and elitism, as historian Thomas Spencer explained. The parade and all of its pomp was meant to reinforce the values of the elite and the working class of the city. However, there is no evidence of direct link to the KKK. Oh, that's the game we're gonna play? Really?
No,
But
no, that's
as a
BS.
19
I'm gonna clarify.
yeah, you
I'm gonna clarify.
yeah,
I'm gonna clarify.
I know Rad ain't gonna let him get away with shit. Oh my god, this dude Rad. Yo, why can't you cut them a break once in a while, yo? Hold on.
Nah, fuck that.
Give me a sec. Ah, but my god, garbage tier. But an 1878 edition of the Missouri Republican shows a picture of a veiled prophet with a striking resemblance to a Klansman. Absolutely. In the early 70s, the fair was crashed by protesters. The Action Committee to Improve Opportunities for Negroes, campaigning to abolish the ball that flaunted its wealth in front of the city's poorest residents. And as was the case for most of the Deep South at the time, racial segregation was rampant, and the veiled prophet didn't allow black members to join until 1979, further incensing protesters at the time. Okay, I think that's about all she wrote, I think. If you don't mind, give me a second here. My OCD is killing me. Who was it? Adriana Elgueta. Shame on you. Garbage tier. All right, now, my dude.
Now,
What is going on? We got a whole clans queen.
now the reason why is complete BS that it has nothing to do with racism and stuff like that. Is because they didn't allow Jews and Black Americans, or I'm sorry, Black people in general,
Mhm.
to
Yeah.
participate. That was
Mm.
one of their criterias until the early '90s. Again, I'm gonna repeat myself. Until the
The early
early
90s, yo.
'90s. Okay.
That is a
Now, the part where she was now this is she her publicist made it way worse. I don't know if the article even said it, but this is me, getting some more information before we went live. The
okay.
publicist made it
You
worse.
actually did homework.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
The publicist made it worse because apparently Elliot was completely anonymous, not anonymous, but completely oblivious of the whole thing, that it had racist and white supremacist connections and implications.
Huh.
She found out about it after she became an employee of the history museum of that town. That's when she became aware of it.
Huh.
Again,
The publicist or
no,
Ellie
no, no,
Kemper?
no, no, Ellie. This is
Ellie
what the
Kemper. All
publicist
right.
is saying about Ellie.
Mm-hmm.
Ellie became aware of it after she was employed to the museum of her town, the history museum of her town, and she found the history of that place. And the
Yeah,
thing
I smell bullshit. I smell bullshit.
I call bullshit on that, because let's just say, for argument's sake, that she did just find out, when she started working there in the museum. Let's just say, right?
Mhm.
Don't you think she would have at least ran to the people who actually have those type of organizations or whatever, and say, hey, can you strip my picture from that, because I don't want to be
Uh-huh.
associated with things like that?
Yep, that'd be the first thing I do. Be the first thing I do.
So how come she hasn't? Is because this is just me saying, I truly believe that she has the type of mentality that most white supremacists have in those small towns.
Huh.
And this is just me having conjecture. This is just me looking at some of the things that happen and just giving an opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I want to go farther than that. I want to say that this is part of part of a ritual that she was part of. That's what I'll say. There's a recent movement right now of white supremacists who want to actually give me a second. Oh, Lisa, because I'm gonna be right back. Okay,
All right.
give me a second. Because now, I mean, the thing is, when I re-upload this with animation and stuff like that, it'll be chopped up. But the live will still be up, collecting views. Don't worry about that. But I do want to actually put refined, highly produced versions of the stuff that we produced.
Of course, of
The
course.
reason why, yeah, the reason why I'm looking this up is these people are coming out. Let me actually get. Uh, all right. So, my brother, let me actually get this screen shared again. Add to stream. Right. So, with Ellie Kemper here and her past with this thing, she's showing her colors. She was showing her colors at the time. She's proud of. Look, say it with your chest, Ellie. Stop playing games. Say it with your chest. If 2017 had turned out differently and the Charlottesville thing happened and it was accepted, it started a wave of closet white supremacists coming out the woodwork across America. Of course, that didn't happen. But if that happened, Ellie Kemper would be out here right now looking like exactly what, give me a second, looking exactly like this. All right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's because that never took place, and there'd be egg on her face right now if she came out and flashed her white supremacist bona fides. Okay,
Yeah,
because I don't know if you're familiar with cosplay for Comic Con, right?
of course.
Good. Now, yeah, these them dudes were geeks. Now, with Comic Con and the cosplay community, there's a cosplayer called Elisa Kiss. Let me go there now. Let me know if I'm sharing. Am I sharing?
Yeah.
All right. There's a cosplayer called Elisa Kiss, and
Wait a minute. I
Mhm.
took a photo with her one time. Oh shit.
Oh shit. Well,
She
she does
is?
not think highly of you, sir. She
Really?
does not think highly. She was right out there in the Charlottesville march, hand in hand with some dude with the whole shield and all that. The shield with the SS and
Yeah,
the
I in
all the sun. Yes.
in 2012 I remember
Oh,
why
you
it's
took a you
2012.
took
In
a
2012 I took a picture of with her with that same Supergirl costume, and that's the revision. That Supergirl costume that she has on is the revision of the New 52.
mhm,
And the reason why is because I was like I'm still heavy into comics, but I
mhm.
took a photo with her because she had that on. I did have to like hunt her down, like, hey, you come here, you know. But it was just a photo, and then I just left. So she didn't even give me all that crazy energy. So I wouldn't, I
No, well, that's the
probably
thing.
if I would have spoken to her, she probably would have said something crazy.
No, but listen, okay. Ellie Kemper, did she give you any crazy energy?
No, she's an
No,
actress.
these people.
She's an actress, and yeah, and when I met Ellie, mind you, I was at the job, in the internet
Okay.
company. When I met her, I was checking her in, and she was super helpful, super nice. She was smiling a lot. So
Hmm. All right, here we go. Courtesy of Bleeding Cool, it's not one of my favorite sites. I don't like giving them views, and especially I don't like everything that's going on their site where they got. I mean, I'm probably riddled with viruses right now. I'm gonna have to give my computer a shower after this shit. However, that's what I got, so that's what you guys get. Elisa Morris, the Supergirl cosplayer who went to Charlottesville. Guess whose side she was on?
wait, hold on. I know this one. Ooh ee ah ooh ee.
Radio.
Was she on the side? Was she on the side of Black Lives Matter?
No.
Ah, wrong. Ooh ee ah
The-
ooh.
was she on the side of the anti-fascists?
Was she on the side of Antifa?
No.
What? Wait, hold on. Ooh ee ah. This should be a perfect time you put a game show song
Oh,
right
dun,
now.
dun, dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun.
Was she?
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll
Wait a
do it on the
minute.
playback.
Was she on the side of the racists?
That no, tell him what he's won, Bob.
You won
All
a
right,
brand new car. Oh my god.
hold on. This looks good. Dying Light 2. Oh, this looks sick. Oh man, I want to watch a let's play of this. You know what? We can probably do let's play videos too, bro. You play games still, right? Or Shorty got all
Yeah.
your time tied up.
No.
Shorty's like
No, whenever
games.
I have some free time, games, fun. No.
No. But yeah, look, this is Elisa Norris. No, Norris, not Morris. This is Elisa Norris. Hold on, let me do it. I'll probably add like some elevator music when I say it. This is Elisa Norris, a well-known cosplayer known as Elisa Kiss, who has appeared in costumes at many Comic-Con style events over the years, as many characters. Though Supergirl appears more than others and has a strong following on social media, she has extended that appeal into other areas of her business. This is her. She did all of this. Look at this. This used to be one of my favorite cosplayers, right? She did Captain Marvel, as you can see here. She did Red Sonja. This is Ariel, the Little Mermaid. You know, but then she talked about going to Charlottesville for the marches the other day. Nothing unusual about that. Many have. But it seems she wasn't on the side one might expect to find a Supergirl. And she had something she wanted to say about the counter protesters there. She says on Twitter, or maybe that's Facebook, I don't know. Elisa Norris, As another person who was there, I can attest this is entirely true. We had shields and helmets to protect ourselves, but that was it. I used my umbrella to keep urine and pepper spray out of my face and was screamed at and spat on. The police were ordered to stand down and let them attack us. It was a terrible day. Thanks to the racist vice mayor who has a long history of opening hating. I think she means openly. Garbage here. Openly hating whites. Uh, this whole thing with blacks, whites. Only people I know who use that like so wantonly. Usually, racist white people. Well, now people started to react to this news, but possibly not in the way Elisa was expecting. As Facebook users, I guess that was Facebook user Russ Matthews made sure people knew what was going on with one of their favorite cosplayers. Rich Johnson is British, as you can see. Favorite is spelled with a U here. As it stands, all her current Facebook pictures of her pets, her friends, and her partner Jonathan are getting responses calling her a racist, white supremacist, and a Nazi. Something she wanted to counter. All right, here's when she counters it. I gotta go to sleep for now, but I'll talk to any friends that like tomorrow. What friends that like tomorrow? That would that that would be people who knew me in real life and are willing to have a civil discussion. Yes, it's true. I was in Charlottesville. I was not at the march or torch rally thing. You were marching. You know what? We'll find the pictures later on. Rally thing, but I was there when the event was shut down the next day. I saw much violence and mayhem, and it was completely terrible. Tagged along with some friends who are Southern nationalists, and it seemed like. Hold on one second. Rad, you there?
Yeah, yeah, I'm here.
Southern nationalist.
Yeah,
So she
wow,
said that she's not. You know what? Fuck it.
wow.
Tagged along with some friends who are Southern nationalists, and it seemed like an adventure. All right, I mean, zippity doo dah, bitch. Had no clue that would be or what would be. This woman can't write. Had no clue what it would be, or that it would be national news or result in violence or death. It was supposed to be a peaceful protest of a monument being removed, along with some speeches, and that was all I knew. The corrupt vice mayor did set it up for both sides to clash and for violence to happen, and it did. I didn't talk about it on Facebook because with the aftermath and the way the mainstream press spun it, there are a lot of lies and confusion going on about what happened. That's all I can say for now, as I just saw myself at the center of some kind of witch hunt. That's supposed to be one word, Alyssa. But I'm sleepy and it's bedtime.
And then she ended it with "Hail Hitler."
Yeah, Heil Hitler. Look, remember she said I was only I wasn't part of anything racist. Jews will not replace us. You see,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah,
I hope I'm
yeah.
still sharing the screen here and I'm not looking like a crazy guy.
No, you are.
You see the
No, I
Crusader
see.
cross
No,
and
I
the
see. I
shield
see it. I see it. I see it. I see it.
and the chant Jews will not replace us.
I see
And
it.
she tried to spin. This is the guy. This is wearing his operator chic here. Funny story. An actual what do you call it? An actual Navy SEAL came on Joe Rogan's show, and he said all the stuff these people got on is backwards. These people are cosplay soldiers.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
He's like what he.
Stolen valor and all that.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, yeah, they might as well be stolen valor. He's saying like when all these racists are out here with all this you know uh Medal of Honor, Call of Duty gear, he's like all the stuff is where it's not supposed to be. He's like in the middle of a gunfight. The mags to reload are not where they're supposed to be. That these guys will get shot dead. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
he's like none of that stuff's where it's supposed to be where they have it on. But let me see here. Give me a second. You like confrontation? Luckily, this may be the same thing. I think it might be. But I'm not reading all this. My point about the Ellie Kemper thing is Ellie Kemper, right? That's her name. My point about the Ellie Kemper thing is she wanted to do this. She did it. All right. She was very proud when. Where do they show the photo? Is the
Yeah,
photo available of
there,
her in the hat?
there's a couple. Yeah, no, 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 they don't have the hat on. They just have the crown.
Yeah, let me see it.
But
Hold on, let me look
but
for Ellie Kemper
there's
crown.
some online, there's some online. Some
Yeah.
articles have it. But the thing is that we have to understand that how white supremacy works. White supremacy is subtle like this.
Yes.
It infects um it infects all areas of activity as minute as a beauty pageant and as big as a courthouse. You know,
Mm,
it
yeah.
infects all areas of activity between humans. So
Wow.
when it comes to certain things like this, we shouldn't just get put a blind eye to it. We should definitely see it for what it is. It's white supremacy.
Hmm.
And Shorty, as much as I liked her in the show, Shorty is part of that white supremacist tier. She is part of that white
Proudly
supremacist
so. Proudly
class.
so. Yeah. Proudly so.
Due to the fact that after, let's say if it's true that she found out after, due to the fact that when she found out after, she was not up in arms
Hmm.
trying to get her name out of that.
Yup. Yup. Hold on. Ben Affleck, slave owning family. Hold on one second.
You know, so yeah, I
Am I still sharing the
no.
screen? No? Let me share the screen here. Sorry about that. African admixture at work here. Let me see here. 1 minute.
You
Yeah,
know,
she should have raised hell. You got
yeah,
my name connected to this shit, but she didn't. She didn't. She kept it pushing. She's like, yeah, proudly wear that crown, wear that hood. I'm good. Now that Charlottesville didn't really work out, right? The world didn't turn into what they thought it would. It's sort of like Nazi Germany, where they thought there would be some sort of 1,000-year Reich. Okay.
of
And
course.
so, because look, a lot of these people who are now saying, yeah, it was an atrocious, blah, 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 blah. You know what? They were probably in some of those black and white photos throwing up the Sieg Heil. You know what I'm saying? And if the 1,000-year Reich had worked out, they'd be overlords right now. They'd be, kicking their boots up, on the backs of, slave Jews and slave blacks and slave Hispanics and all kinds of stuff. Hold on. Ben Affleck's slave owning family records sketch. I don't know what context this is. Ben Affleck's slave owning family records sketch a conflicted past. Okay, so records, not records. Documents offer a window. Give me a second. Let me read this. Oh, drink this water rather. Documents offer a window into the life of the actor's ancestor and put Benjamin Cole at the center of the South's reckoning with slavery. Is that his name, Benjamin Cole? Or like that's his ancestor?
I think his ancestor.
Okay. A family death in 1858 left Ben Affleck's great 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 grandfather with legal custody of his mother in law's most valuable property, her slaves. Slave. There was Cuffy, whose value was estimated at $500 in handwritten estate records still on file with the Chatham County Probate Court. Oh, there were Henry and James, valued at 1,000 apiece. And did they adjust for inflation, dear Radical? And Robert and Becky,
I have
worth
no idea, but it sounded like they must have adjusted for inflation.
Oh, they're adjusting for inflation? No, because the remember your guy told you, do you know how expensive it was to own slaves? It's
Yeah,
like it's like owning a Lamborghini.
yeah,
That's what I'm saying. Like it has to be old value money. You know what I mean? $500 in old value. I
of
don't know.
course, of
Maybe
course.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not an economist. If any economists are watching this or in the audience, let us know. What are the odds, right?
Yeah,
Robert and Becky. You had a slave named Becky, worth 600 as a couple. Damn, they probably looked at. You got Henry and James valued at 1,000 apiece, but The both of us are worth 600. Like what the hell?
Buy one get one free.
Yeah, buy one get one free. What? Bo go up in this bitch? Hold up. They were among 24 slaves. Wow, they had 24 slaves. Ben Affleck's family had 24 slaves. It's one thing, okay, that one
Jesus
slave, and it was like,
Christ.
yo, it's dude. If it's one slave, right? They got one slave, and it's like a family maid or something like that. And I can let that shit. Dude, you had 24 slaves, 24 whole slaves.
Yeah, no, you can't. There's nothing.
Yeah, you can't talk this away. There's no PR for this. They were among 24 slaves willed to
But
Benjamin.
listen.
Yeah.
It wasn't 25.
There you go. Could have been 25.
It wasn't 25.
That's Bitcoin's kind of rationale.
Yeah.
That's Bitcoin. We need Bitcoin up in here.
But we're gonna drop
snap.
the link soon, guys.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Soon, guys.
Hey man, how many times I gotta tell this man African admixture, yo? Hold on.
Yeah, we'll drop the link soon. Just
Yeah, I'm dropping the link right now.
Yeah. Finish up the thing. And,
Here's the link.
And we'll give my final thoughts on this thing.
Yeah, I mean you
have.
Yeah, and you don't have to stay long if you don't want to, because what I'll do is I'll chop this up into a them dudes kind of segment. But the people can have their fun,
No, but
let the plebs have the rest of it.
Finish the article though.
All right, hold on. Yeah, well, I mean that's the article, but then I got Benedict Cumberbatch next. Nigga. Hold on, there was Cuffy, blah 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 blah. Where we at? Well, the 24 slaves willed to Benjamin L. Cole, with instructions to turn them over to his 3 sons once they reached adulthood. Holy mother.
Wow.
Just hearing it out loud. So there's no chance these people would ever be free. There's no chance these people would ever be free. Ever. Holy mother. Evidence that Cole owned slaves drove Affleck to ask PBS and Harvard scholar Henry Louis Gates to remove his relative from a TV program exploring Affleck's family tree. After Affleck's actions became public in April, the Argo actor and director identified the relative as Benjamin Cole on Twitter. The publicist for Affleck offered no further comment. The AP used historical public records to independently confirm that Cole was Affleck's ancestor. I didn't want any television show about my family to include a guy who owns slaves. Yeah, but he's part of your family though. And he's an ancestor, literal ancestor. Affleck said in a Facebook post on the 21st of April, I was embarrassed. The very thought left a bad taste in my mouth. Hey, enough of a bad taste, Affleck, to give some money to maybe some black filmmakers, right? No? Okay. 19th century documents offer a window into the life of the Hollywood star's ancestor and put Benjamin Cole right at the center of the South's reckoning with slavery. He had the personal ties. His family's at least 24 slaves. But as sheriff of Chatham County, which includes Savannah, he had deep public ties as well. See, when people have these rags to riches stories, were you part of the discussion yesterday when Fighter came through here and was like, anybody could be anything in America if you just believe in yourself and you work really hard, never let the and I was kind of explaining to him, these rags to riches stories they're getting the slogan from is all bullshit, because we're supposed to believe that Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, they were poor struggling actors, right, eating ramen noodles and sardines in their little apartment.
No, they weren't.
And then one day they got discovered. No. One after writing the screenplay Good Will Hunting, they got discovered. Blah, 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 blah. No, these people come from fucking money. They come from money and privilege and a long history of inheritance of all these crimes and sins. No disrespect, man. You still my favorite Batman and all that shit. But you gotta get that work. All right, hold on.
He's not my Batman.
He's not for real. You don't like Affleck as Batman?
Nah. Oh, Michael Keaton. Keaton, bro.
You gotta go. You gotta go with the original, the OG.
Yeah, Michael
Keaton. They're supposed to bring him back on some
Flashpoint
dimension shit.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that.
Hell yeah. All right.
Yeah,
His nearly a decade.
I'm gonna be right back.
All right,
I
no
don't know,
problem. No, no, no.
get
I'll hold it
somebody
down.
from the back or whatever,
Yeah,
but
I'll
I'll
hold it
be
down.
right back. Give me
No,
like 20, 30 minutes. I'll be right
no
back.
problem, dude. I got work for these people. Hold up. His nearly a decade. His nearly a decade as the sorry, as the top law enforcement official in one of the South's most important cities, stated before the Civil War, when slavery was a way of life, continued throughout the war, when its citizens were fighting to maintain slavery, and ended years after the Confederates surrendered, when tensions between newly freed slaves, just in case you guys are losing where I'm at with this article, it's reading time with Brotep. Hold on, one second. Hold up 1 second. Let me just imagine imagine some highbrow what do you call it? Imagine some highbrow classical music. Welcome back to reading time with Brotep. Sir Brotep of YouTube Hem. It's reading time. Reading with your Negro. With your Negro. Brotep. Just like that. All right. So let's get back to it here. Ben Affleck's family owned slaves. All right. Nearly 144 years before he was dismissed by his great 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 grandson as an embarrassment, Cole was praised as a universally respected citizen by the Savannah Morning News after he died on 16th November 1871. Give me a second. Someone's dropping in. Maceo. Maceo, what's good? What's good, my Moor?
How you
What up?
doing, brother? What's up, man? How
Yeah.
you doing?
All right, my Moorish knight brother. What's good? Yeah,
Chilling, brother.
yeah. We trying to give these white supremacists that work tonight. Giving them that work because that girl came out as a well, she didn't come out. She got ousted as a whole Klanswoman out here, a queen of
I
the KKK and all that stuff.
I saw it trending on Twitter, but I'm not even sure who she is. So
Yeah,
yeah,
like from The Office. Rad likes that stuff, but there's only so much white dry humor as I can take. Pocho probably likes that shit. Pocho, if you're in the audience, you need to come back up here and explain yourself and this dry humor.
oh, she was on
Hold
The
on.
Office.
Yeah, yeah. She was in The Office. I don't know which season, something like that. But Rad will tell you more about it because I don't really watch that stuff like that.
Yeah,
You know.
I haven't watched it in a while, but I know like a couple of episodes that I did watch were pretty funny.
Yeah. You know, that humor, it takes getting used to, but once you get used to it, yeah, it'll cut you up. But here's the thing, right? So these people, they're taking, if you don't catch them doing things, they just keep doing it because all the stuff that we assume
Mm.
they're ashamed of, they're not ashamed of it. Oh, like we assume that they're ashamed of this stuff. Like H.P. Lovecraft, for example, the super hyper racist writer who created Cthulhu and all these other, types of universal horror, cosmic horror.
Mm.
He was an avowed devout racist. He named what was it? He may name the monster nigger goth or some shit. Niggera.
Jesus
Like
fucking.
yeah, like an avowed devout racist. And the thing is, when you have these people, hold on,
You're kidding, right?
no, I'm not
That's
joking. He has the demon called Niggerath, and and the thing is, like when you have these guys, Henry, what's going on?
Hey, greetings. How are you? How's
Greetings,
everyone
greetings.
doing tonight?
Oh,
I'm here to dispel a lot of the myths that you've been putting out.
yeah. So my
Um,
Lovecraft. Oh yeah. Oh, what myths have I been putting out? What do you need? What are you here to dispel? Dispel some myths for us.
well, topics of conversation. Listening in, so I'm just hearing
Like
what you
what?
have. Uh,
So in general, like I
go,
speak so many, I speak so many untruths that you're here, you're here to lay the smack down. Like what's going on here? You didn't have anything specific. You're counting on me saying something that's propaganda.
Yeah, I'll be the fact checker from now going forward. Like CNN, we have fact checkers,
You're
and
the
I am
fact
the
checker. All
I
right,
am the
let me
fact
ask you
checker of
something.
the
Let me
night.
ask you something. Do most closeted white racists not, or do they consider the racism in this country their birthright? Say like H.P. Lovecraft. What do you think now?
Uh, well, I disavow white nationalism.
I
Um,
didn't ask you if you believed in white nationalism or if you're actually practicing white nationalism. I'm talking about like the people who practice that. Do you believe that they consider the legacy of slavery and discrimination and bigotry and all these sins of this country, they consider it their birthright? So that's why these statues, they're like, don't throw out the statues, it's history, and it's a legacy, and don't put it, can't erase history, right? So am I barking up the wrong tree?
no, not necessarily. Yeah, not and not the case that you put forth. Because I'm opposed to that as well.
Okay.
So we're on the same page now, right? Are we?
Okay.
For now, with this certain
So
individual, as
for
you
now,
mentioned.
I'm glad you could come in and
But
basically police us. Give me a second. Give me a sec. Maceo, there we go.
Yo,
Shub Niggurath. Shub Niggurath.
Jesus
Right
fucking
here, right.
Christ.
He's I hope I'm sharing the screen. Am I sharing the screen, everyone? Screen,
Yeah,
everyone?
yeah, it looks like
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Shub Niggurath, the H.P. Lovecraft character, right? The
Jesus
black
fucking.
goat. It's the black goat of the woods with 1,000 young,
Oh my
right?
God.
And this guy was an avowed racist, like devout. I mean, he worshipped on the altar of racism. But but when you talk to authors of the white variety, and you're like, you know what, H.P. Lovecraft was a racist. Yeah, well, he's a product of his time, and then we have to basically stop them and go, no, 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 buddy. H.P. Lovecraft was racist for his time. One second. H.P. Lovecraft was racist for his time because we have to remember that H.P. Lovecraft was the contemporary of people who created like Tarzan, which, by the way, they have their own racism, right? But it wasn't like H.P. Lovecraft. So, like I said, it was a racist time, but he was racist even for the time. Other racists at the time said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, bruh, like what's going on here?" Okay, so people like Robert E. Howard, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, I think, I'm not sure. All these different people were his contemporaries, and he had
He came out with that bullshit.
he had letter before we had email, right? He had pen pal, like correspondence with these people, and even they were like, "Yeah, man, I read your last novel. That was, yeah, I disavow, bro." So even at the time, they were like, "Yeah, that's kind of racist, bro."
That's kind of racist. You
Yeah,
think?
because like the guy who made Tarzan never
Whatever.
made a character. I mean, you guys have seen Tarzan a million times, right? And like in Disney movies, have you ever heard the word nigga in there in any form? The guy who wrote that shit was a contemporary of H.P. Lovecraft. So no, then H.P. Lovecraft with his niggeroth and all kinds of other shit. No, man. Um, but hold on. Let me get this other guy. Um, what's his name? He's my boy too, so I feel bad going in on him. Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh, Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange, yeah, that's my dude, man. Which and it's not his fault that his parents, or not his parents too.
Mm.
Wait a minute. Cumberbatch.
Uh,
Slave owners.
I actually came in though with a question about a comic.
Oh, absolutely. What question you got? What's up?
Well, first of all, how well are you versed in the X-Men comics?
Not the recent ones, because the recent ones they went off the reservations, but I'm pretty well versed in the right up until the 2007s or whatnot. What's up?
Okay. So I am looking for a limited series that came out in the 90s that featured Wolverine, Gambit, and Rogue. And I saw it. I remember seeing it. They
Okay,
were
so you're looking
selling
for
it.
collectors. I'm not a collector. That's a different geekdom. And those guys are usually speculators. They're not really geeks, by the way.
Well, it's a series,
I
but
mean,
I've never
you
been
can
able
be
to
both.
find it.
But, what are you
I
trying to find it for?
want it for
Collecting?
myself. Yeah, I want it for
No,
myself.
but like so you can sell it later on.
No. I want it for myself.
Okay. I thought you were a speculator, which that's a different market, and I'm not part of that market, so I wouldn't know about that. But let me see, Gambit, Rogue, and who?
Wolverine.
Wolverine. Was it a side adventure or was it X-Men proper?
It was
Because
not
they,
X-Men. It was. I think Rogue got her own shit. She got her own series, and this was
Hey,
an
what's
arc.
up, bro? Tap?
which was good. Yeah, but
So,
hold on. Yeah, but hold on. What era are you looking for?
This had to have been in the 90s.
90s. Damn, that's a hard one, man. Because a lot of that stuff, there's literally been at least a million X-Men comics. That's why for those of you who are interested in comics, get in while you still can, and get in, enjoy it while you still can, because it's all shutting down. In case you guys don't know it, it's all shutting down. I can look it up for you though, and send you some links via email. Is that all right?
hmm
Yeah, because
I just want to say something real quick about like Ben Affleck.
Oh, what
Ben
about Ben Affleck?
Affleck.
Yeah.
Hey, yo. So just kind of commenting, going back to the topic of the video. It's just so interesting how many Hollywood elites, if you can call them that, for lack of a better word, have like racist family history. Like Ben Affleck, for example.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys know this, but Ben Affleck he literally descends from like elite slave owners from America's past. And one of his ancestors is a guy named Benjamin Cole.
Yeah.
And if you look up who this
you
guy
trolling me?
is,
That's what I just said. You just came.
Huh?
When did you come in here?
Like 2 minutes ago.
Oh, we just covered. I read the whole articles and stuff.
Oh,
covered all that.
okay.
Yeah, I thought
Okay,
you
I
were
see.
trolling for a
Sorry
second.
about that. Sorry.
No,
No,
it's
okay,
cool.
so you already know.
Yeah.
that
Now I'm
there's
moving
deep
on to Cumberbatch.
ties.
I'm going on to
Oh,
Cumberbatch.
okay.
Now. Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on. Marcel, come in when you can. I know you your link dropped. Hold on, let me go to Cumberbatch right now. Henry, I'm gonna look up the comic that you're looking for. Are they in an adventure?
No, that was Marcel who was asking you that question.
Oh, it was Marcel or not you, Henry. Okay.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the next Marvel movie to come out so I can.
Yeah, see,
catch
you're
up
the
with
reason why the comics are dying. You go out and read some comics, Henry.
Yeah, what I tend to do is I read the comics, watch the movie, and catch up on the discrepancy. But we'll wait and see with Marvel. And usually they got the timeline up until like 2024 on what they're going to come out with.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, these people. I mean, that's what they tell us. But their plan.
A good suggestion would be for you to cover that. I'm surprised you haven't covered a timeline of the Marvel series, but
well, I mean, I could do that, but we can't have done everything. My channel's only been active for like a month.
Right. Bro, do you prefer the Marvel universe versus the DC universe, or universes, I should say? Because DC is more like a multiverse, I think.
All right. People always back me into a corner when they ask me that shit. All right. Okay. Look. Okay, look. I prefer the worlds in Marvel Comics.
Mhm.
The worlds in Marvel Comics are what I prefer, like the surroundings. I love all that stuff. I love Wakanda, Wakanda forever. I love Wakanda, Asgard, right? Latveria with Doctor Doom, right? Atlantis with Submariner. I love
Right.
all of it. Yeah, that's the stuff I love. And you know, I do love the
I think
characters.
something about Marvel is that like their multiverse, for example, I think it's more. I think it's literally just like a multiverse. I don't think it's like parallel
Yeah,
universes the way
no,
DC has it, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. And the thing I like about Marvel is that, well, I mean, DC too to some extent. The thing I love about it is, hold on one second. Blood Moon. What does Inquisitor and Marcel look like? It doesn't matter. Well, I want
Okay,
to get the
I'm
rock.
back. I'm back.
Oh, you
Guys.
back? Right.
I'm
All
back,
right.
I'm
All right.
back. What's
Yeah.
going on?
That's a good question, Blood Moon.
Comic book talk. Comic book talk.
Yeah, we're talking about
Oh,
comics, bro.
You left for 15 minutes, and the subject already changed. That's how it goes down in these YouTube streets. But yeah, as far as like characters, I prefer Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, right? And those are DC characters. But in terms of the worlds, I prefer
Yeah.
Marvel. I love how
Oh,
Marvel.
okay. So you like the Marvel multiverse?
Yeah, I love how the
well,
worlds intersect.
we're talking about that. I'll
I
say
agree on that.
my favorite superheroes is Batman,
Mhm.
Batman, and Batman.
Yeah,
I'm
but what
a
do you?
huge.
Oh,
I'm a huge
I
Batman
guess
fan.
DC Universe then, right? Right. DC
No,
Universe.
Here's a question.
I would prefer the Marvel universe, to be honest. But
Yeah.
my
See, it's the same thing. Maybe that's a trend. Good.
I have a question for the panel related to Batman and
Mhm.
one movie that catches my eye with double meanings is The Dark Knight and Heath Ledger's role in playing the Joker, where it's like this esoteric meaning behind the Joker, where Heath Ledger was told not to play the Joker because to get into that character, and
he has to go crazy or something, right?
you have to go crazy, right? And it
Yeah.
obviously led him to commit suicide or overdose, one of the two. And do you guys think that there's like an occultism behind that? Behind playing the Joker and his character
Well,
and hedonism?
the Joker.
Well,
I'm gonna let everyone
hedonism,
go
like-
first.
I'm gonna be very, very honest, and it might shut down the lore of said thing, but I don't think so, and this is the reason why. Because Jared Leto tried to go above and beyond to go crazy, sending dead mouses to some of the cast members, sending empty bullet shells with
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah, with words written, kill yourself and stuff like that, or I'm gonna get you with Joker cards. So he will randomly do this. And
the question is he next?
Why?
Jared Leto next? Has he gone crazy? Because
Wait, but why did he do that?
Psychiatrically speaking, those acts that he did are crazy.
Well,
why did he do that?
Well, he did it purposely in order to get to the character's role. He did that purposely. This is what he said himself.
Okay.
And the thing is, after he was done, nothing happened afterwards. He's
not done yet, player. He's not done yet.
Fine.
He's not done yet.
Of course he's done.
No,
he's not done yet. I concur. He's not done yet.
There's no sequel to the Snyder Cut. The Snyder Cut's dead, right?
Bro, no. The reason why I'm saying he's done, he's done, is because nobody wants him to be the Joker anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody likes him. I don't like him as the Joker.
Yeah, but the thing is, I know.
To me, he's a tryhard. The only one that came successful close to Heath Ledger was
Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah,
was Joaquin Phoenix, and he didn't go crazy whatsoever.
No,
so
but that's what we're talking about, right? In order to embody the Loki, that's the spirit that we're talking about here. It's also
the three roots, the spirit.
No. Hey,
the messiah of the Joker.
No, listen. I'm not really on some OG Del Ronto shit. But here's the thing. All right. for those of us who are having a highbrow discussion about religion here. Now, I don't know how uber Christian you are, Henry, but you'll have to bear with me and forgive any trespasses against Catholicism here. Right?
Well, no, I was raised Anglican, Episcopalian, so I'm probably from the.
Henry, can I ask you a question? Are you from like the OG crew? Because I think I kind of remember you.
Very much so.
Well,
yes.
Yeah, he's from that
know me
sphere,
from
yeah.
there.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's why I'm disliked in this sphere.
Okay, look, a lot of the Rad, you're atheist at the moment, right? I mean, you're still on your spiritual journey, but at the moment you're atheist, yeah, or agnostic.
I don't know what that means. I'm spiritual. That's all I know.
All right, cool. Well, the thing is, human beings, everyone across the planet has a different puzzle piece, right? But it all completes the human being. In order to get the full puzzle picture, I personally believe, and I hope this stream doesn't get taken down again like the other times, right? While we have an echo, can you guys let me see if it's me again. Hold on. Hello? Yeah, that was me. Yeah. So in order to get the full puzzle piece or the full puzzle, we would have to go and force the Vatican to release the miles and miles of fucking archives under the Vatican. Okay, so that we can see all those old scriptures, because it looks like our ancestors, like humanity, I mean, not black, white, Indio, nothing. It looks like our ancestors figured all this shit out. All the stuff that we're sifting around in the dark to try to find, it looks like they figured this shit out already. They had it figured out already. So when you have the Hindus over there with the chakra points, you have us over here with the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, and all this sorts of things. We are getting pieces from everywhere else.
Yeah.
And so with the energy, the Joker energy, that's for let's take it from Loki. The Joker energy is the Loki energy over in Norway and Sweden and Germany and shit like that. And that's the trickster energy. Anansi in Africa. It's the trickster energy. And it's in us. All that stuff is inside of us. A lot of these books, right? In the opinions of many people like myself, a lot of these books, they were describing things that happen in the body. Okay, so Jesus rising after 3 days, etc. That's the Jesus seed. That's going up your spinal cord. It's electrical signals and stuff like that when your body's going through certain processes, right? And also, movements of the stars. They did like the 12 signs of zodiac, 12 apostles, all these different things.
Yeah, the metaphysical.
Well, yeah, it's metaphysical. However, a lot of things have been coming out that have been proving some of these ideas. Okay, like an old idea was, and scientists used to laugh you out the fucking room, and the ancient peoples knew it, which was, if you're sad or you're sick, sing to the person who's sad or sick, right? And then recently, the New England Journal of Medicine has declared that singing offers vibrations that actually alters the body's biological blah 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 blah. Now that
I do declare.
Yeah, I do declare. Now that they ran it through their bullshit, now it's official. Okay, the thousands of people in like Native American countries and Africa and all these people, when your kid gets sick, and then you sing to him, you sing lovely songs to him, rub his forehead, and you don't even give him no medicine yet, and soon the kid gets better, right? None of that shit matters, even though they were doing it for thousands of years. No, it's only when this white boy get in his fucking lab, then he writes down his journal. Yes, and I went through the process of hypothesis, blah, 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 blah. And then it's okay. So a lot of these things that we're taking as metaphysical, right? Metaphysical stuff, that was metaphysical then. But a lot of that stuff, they have been proving it now. Like, for example, the fact that things that happen to your ancestors have an effect on you biologically. Okay, so these people were sitting up here
spiritually too.
Yeah, spiritually as well, but physically, just to get into the realm of what they're operating on with all the sciences and the techniques and all that stuff, right? So now they've found out. Oh, wait a minute. So when someone suffers trauma in 1624, and they have kids. Those kids have kids. Those kids have kids. Now in 2021, those kids can feel that pain. Those kids can have psychological trauma.
Trauma has been proven to be passed down genetically.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Now it's proven. But back then, whenever, like, especially when black people ask for what the fuck is due to them in this country, like, hey, none of you have ever been slaves. You've ever been enslaved.
Well, Brotep, may I take a step back and ask a question related to that?
Yeah.
Do you believe in ancestral sin?
Ancestral sin? Well, apparently it's a real thing. That science has proven it. I had believed in it before, but I was laughed out the room anywhere I suggested it. Yes, ancestral sins are a thing.
Okay. Ancestral sin. Can you kind of elaborate? Because I kind of forgot what that was.
Well, paying for your father's sins. We pay for our father's sins all the time. Someone born with some sort of congenital disease. What the fuck were your parents doing?
Yeah, I pay for my father's sin all the time when I see my stepsisters. I'm like, hey,
so Henry, where were you going with this? Because ancestral sins.
Where were you going with it, Henry?
Well, no, I was just asking because I was curious. Maybe this can be an element of ancestral sin if you're a believer of what is taught in the Old Testament. I think Leviticus covers that.
I think that's really different. I think that's really different because we're talking about trauma, not sin. Like you didn't it's not like your ancestors stole and then you're just getting robbed every day. That's not.
No. That's what Poto tried to clarify here. Because what do we mean when we say sin? Because we have to be careful with these words. These words have meanings now that they didn't have then. So back then, if they said ancestral sin, they didn't necessarily mean that you did anything wrong. An ancestral sin may have at that time meant anything that happened to you that interrupted your daily life. So whether it's you doing something, whether it's you doing something
my friends.
First of all, Smoothie, shut up. I did have to Google agnostic. I don't know what that means.
Right. Catholics interpret it differently. My friends in the Eastern Orthodox Church interpret it differently, and I myself, growing up Episcopalian, it meant a different thing. And this is like more related to the Virgin Mary, whether you believe that she was.
Let me just say one thing, and with that, I'm gonna have to go because I'm actually putting my stuff together because tonight's my night in Puerto Rico.
All right.
One thing I will say is that scientifically, trauma passed genetically has been proven. They did this test on lab mice. Where every time the smell of, I think was it lemon or mint? I forgot whatever, but it's irrelevant. They'll get a shock every time that smell came in. So they did it so much that the time to the point where the rats figured out, when that smells around, something bad is gonna happen. So they already knew. Now they literally waited for these rats to actually have babies, and their babies have babies, and their babies have babies. They didn't really have to wait that long. We already know that rats multiply like crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
End up finding out that their offsprings 5 generations later had that same adverse effect when it came to mint.
Bruh.
They saw the same thing that the previous original mice saw, and they said that trauma does get passed down because it's supposed to be a survival mechanism for the next offspring.
Yeah,
so
that's a good point. There's a lot to unpack there. That's a good point.
Listen,
you still gonna be repeating that same thing about none of you were slaves, so you don't know.
I'm out, guys. But listen, it was great chopping it up.
I wanted to ask Henry in Puerto Rico.
What happened?
I wanted to ask.
Oh no, don't worry, bro. He went scuba. He went swimming with the killer whales, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm going there soon. I'm gonna go to San Juan and Ponce. So.
Oh, okay. I'm in San Juan now. I had a great time. What do you want to ask again?
San Juan.
No,
Juan too.
Just to hear about your time, or recap about your time.
Dude,
there,
no,
I'm going there soon.
It was wonderful, bro. I loved it. the atmosphere is very inviting. Is very beautiful. The people are very inviting. I had
Question,
go ahead.
By chance,
that's right, brother. You gotta divest over there, my man.
Brad, by chance, did you go to other parts of Puerto Rico? Did you stay in San Juan?
No. I went to No. I went to Ponce.
Did you find Dominicans there? Are there Dominicans there?
I did. I found some Dominicans here, and we talked and stuff. I found a couple of New Yorkers here, and we definitely talked it out.
Por casualidad, los dominicanos que tú te contrates, the Dominicans that you find, most of them, last time I went a few years ago, when I went to El Condado, they were working in construction. Did you see that then too? When you went to San Juan?
The Dominicans that I found.
Oh, son comerciantes, they have businesses. What did you see from the Dominicans there?
One of them had just a Puerto Rican restaurant, like a Puerto Rican Dominican restaurant. So he was the owner. So I was speaking with him. The other Dominicans. Actually, I met a group of Dominicans. They owned a barber shop, and we were just talking real quick and stuff like that. They were telling me most of the Dominicans are pretty much in business and stuff like that over there. They're not really in hard labor anymore, because the people who are doing the hard labor, believe it or not, are the Haitian immigrants that are coming over there. This is what they're telling me.
Oh, really?
This is what they're telling me. The Haitian
I imagine that.
The Haitian immigrants are coming over there, and this is what they're saying. And I did meet a few Haitians in the construction field, because there's a little construction thing 2 blocks away from me. So when I spoke to one of the workers, he was like, "Oh, you see, yo soy haitiano. I got my citizenship and stuff, but this is the only thing that I could have, that I could work with." But most Haitians
Haitiano. That's interesting. Haitiano. Okay.
Haiti.
What was it? They said that the majority of Haitians, illegal and legally, are working in hard labor manual jobs.
Okay.
So I guess that destroys the myth that they're not good workers, huh?
Many Haitians are great workers.
Yeah.
They do well in construction and pavement. And
the thing
I've hired them myself.
I spoke to some Puerto Ricans. The thing is that they told me that most of the businesses are not being bought by Latin people, by Puerto Ricans. Most of them are being bought by Spaniards, white Americans, and stuff. Mm-hmm. There's some graffiti and paint.
Yeah.
The painting I even put on my Instagram where it says "Gringo, go home." You know what?
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, "What the hell is that about?"
Yeah, well, it's because most Puerto Ricans don't want to be part of the U.S. and they see themselves as a colony, as a conquered colony. And the thing is, a lot of Puerto Ricans hate the fact that white Americans, and not only white Americans, but Europeans come into that country and rape the land and rape the resources and stuff like that. So they use the Puerto Rican people as just a labor class, and they don't like that.
That's a good point.
Yeah, man, that's they kind of use Mexicans the same way too. When we come from, they destroy our countries, they destabilize our countries. We had to go up north and work for all these big, massive corporations.
But listen,
I found wait, hold on before you say it, I found multiple graffitis of this thing. Talk about "Gringo, go home." It wasn't just one. It was multiple of these. I'm gonna upload another one tomorrow. That's next to a statue. So yeah, I know, right, base. That's next to a statue. So that right there really surprised me. The reason how I found out was it was a Puerto Rican that was putting me on game, an older Puerto Rican that was putting me on game, and I was buying cocos from him and stuff, and he was just letting me know. Funny thing is, I'm not Puerto Rican whatsoever, but he was still telling me, "Mira, welcome home, hermano. You're home. This is your motherland too. Blah 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 blah." So I'm like, "Oh wow, I really felt that energy."
He said that.
That's a good point. Con la tema de los boricua, los gringos who are moving in, I'm coordinating an interview with one. Con un gringo viviendo ahora. He's living in Puerto Rico. He's white American, I'm going to cover that because they're really interested in the economic benefits that they can reap.
Yeah.
Hey, so Henry, let me ask you something, bro.
Wait, because I'm about to leave. Fighter, what were you going to tell me?
Oh, that they don't look at gringos just as white Americans. They look at gringos as any American.
Yeah.
No, that is true, but also not true in the same time, because when that guy was telling me this thing, he was telling me this thing knowing that I was American, that I was born here in America, but he did not see me as American. So there's a reason why he even said, "Welcome back home," even though you're not Puerto Rican, you're still home. You know what I'm saying?
I don't believe he told you that, but right.
That's what he told me. I'm not making this up. Like, he's the one that even told me, "Go down here and you'll see a graffiti that says "Gringos go home." This is not something like this. You know what I'm saying? This is something he told me this shit. So I went and saw it, and I said, "Oh shit, this old man is right."
Okay, I believe you.
I concur with that statement you just said, Radical, but I think it's for different reasons. Because los boricua views the gringo por el tema de que ellos pagan los impuestos, right? They benefit from it, and if they set shop there or they buy a home there.
Mira, si yo voy a Ecuador, ¿verdad? Ellos me van a llamar un gringo también. That's no different.
No lo creo.
The international gringo.
No,
in Ecuador,
the eternal Anglo.
Listen, in Ecuador, they'll call me a gringo too. No, they'll call me a gringo and mean it because I'm American. You know what I'm saying?
¿Cómo va a ser?
No, but eso con familia. You know what I mean? Con familia. Oh, no, tú eres un gringo. You know what I mean? That's like.
Pero como tu propia familia te va a decir eso.
No, cuando estamos relajando, claro.
Pero
anyone seen Rochester?
If Ecuador today is so dollarized, right?
Yeah,
the currency is a dollar. Okay, so I think maybe perhaps is that they see your dollar and they see that the American dollar in Ecuador sets you apart from the locals.
Of course, but when I speak to them, and I'm talking about the issues and all that. They even say the gringo word. They make a very specific distinction that it's not me.
Yeah.
That it's it's someone else. You know what I'm saying? And they make a very strong distinction. The Uber driver that got me from El Moro back to my hotel said the same thing. He's making a very strict distinction. You know. And when we talk, he even says that, yo, like we even spoke about the whole New Yorican and Puerto Rican island beef, and he was like, that's all bullshit. That's all bullshit. None of that really exists. That's all bullshit.
Yeah. No,
so yeah, you know. Hey, but listen.
I'm working to.
What's up?
Dale. Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm sorry, my bad. I just came up in the chat. What's going on with you fellas, man? I see fighters up in here. Rad's up in here. What's going on with D? Bro,
they went from reparations to Puerto Rico. I'm like,
another thing what Rad was saying is that they look, like you said, like Fighter was saying, they consider every American a gringo, but it ain't every American that's going in there buying up things. It's a particular distinctive look of blonde hair and blue-eyed people that's going
white people.
White people. Not entirely either. That's not entirely true. But yes, to an element, they see it for economic gains.
Yo, let me get out of here, bro. Shout out to you.
Peace out. Hey, so Henry, I do have a question for you, bro.
Shout out.
You know,
I'm out.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yo, bro, I thought there was some reparations. What happened? How did it go from reparations to Puerto Rico?
What?
I thought we talking about reparations.
Okay. Hey, I'm about to change the topic right now. So Henry, you still here, bro?
Yes. Go ahead. Dale.
So, just have a question for you. I know you didn't grow up Catholic, you didn't grow up Orthodox, but no. I presume that you still believe in the Bible, correct? Like you're a Bible believing Christian of some denomination.
I was raised Episcopalian, Anglican, and the King James Version Bible is what we use.
Okay.
But
All right.
if I was to go to Dominican Republic for, say, Semana Santa, which is Holy Week in April, we observe Catholic teachings, and the Episcopal Church is not much different than the Catholic Church. And if you go to Mass, but go ahead. What's your question?
Right. Yeah. So, obviously, from the obvious differences, right? You believe that the Bible, both Old Testament and New Testament, in the King James, is the Word of God, right? Like, do you believe that?
That can be disputed. It's. I would say sometimes. Well, many would say it's the word from God as opposed to the word of God, which is very different, right? I'm very neutral on that. I myself am really looking into theology to really get to the bottom of that, but it can very well be from the word from God as opposed to the word of God.
And what would be the difference from the word of God and the word from God? Like, what would be the main distinction?
Well, it's that it's been revised, and then Martin Luther with his 1590 something.
The Reformist, yeah.
Yeah, the Reformists, where Martin Luther comes and he, staples something to the church doors, and that's where the disagreements lies. But what about that?
No, I'm just saying, man. Like, if you really believe that the Bible is actually the Word of God, like real, because I really don't know, and I don't mean to be like, I was kind of come with the point, but it seems like you don't necessarily believe in the fundamental interpretations of, say, like the Old Testament or the New Testament, right? Like, you kind of think that.
No, I do. I do, because those are
okay, you do.
The church teachings of one holy, apostolic, and Catholic Church, with the Ecumenical Council, with the 7 churches. But the Bible was constructed by St. Peter's, and the apostles came about after after the teachings to construct the Bible, and the Old Testament has to be taken into consideration, right? Because how can you make a Bible without the New Testament? I'm not a sola scriptura, which is like just the word is the word is the word.
Yeah, the word is the word, and you just read the word.
Yeah, there's more nuances to that. I believe in saints, and I grew up believing in saints for intercessions, and I think the saints also played a big part into constructing the Bible that we have today. Now, if you're a
I've noticed that
or any other, then yeah,
a lot of Protestants they do believe in sola scriptura. I think that's really the main points that Protestants would bring up, that the church wants to have these councils that interpret the Bible, and they write the Catechism and things like that with their official councils, and they decide what's truly the right interpretations and what's not.
Yeah, that's been disputed in the Anglican Church, where the Anglo-Catholic, depending on the king and the majesty you have, they go back and forth, where the low church is more evangelical and the high church is more Catholic. Hence, you'll take the term, ergo, you take the term Anglo-Catholic. And I grew up in the high church, and now it's been hijacked, it's been infiltrated, right, here in the States, where the all the Protestant churches are now heresy. But Pocho Status, what denomination did you grow up, if you don't mind my asking?
No, I grew up, Catholic, like Roman Catholic, on my mom's side of the family. She's still Catholic. My dad isn't a Catholic anymore.
Did you complete your sacraments as baptism?
No, I was baptized. Yeah, I was baptized.
Baptized,
for sure.
commune, and confirmed.
Mm-hmm. All that.
You did those 3 sacraments, and
I was baptized. I believe I was 6 years old. Yeah, 6 years old was when I was baptized over there in LA.
And were you? Did you attend Novus Ordo or traditional mass?
I think it was Novus Ordo. I don't think we ever really, because traditional mass, that's kind of like
in Latin.
That we don't go with that.
Okay. And are you still Catholic today? Are you a practicing Catholic today?
No, that's kind of what I was going to get into, like the whole
Okay.
like, do you believe the Bible is actually like true? You know what I'm saying? Look, I hate to be an asshole because look, I used to be very religious myself. I understand that a lot of people, there's many different types of Christians out there. There's fundamental Christians that strongly believe that every single story in the Old Testament and the New Testament is literally true, and like all these things it's like a historical record. And then there are others that kind of see these stories as more as like they could be interpreted as lessons and things like that. So I was just kind of wondering where you were at. Like, do you believe that these things are literally true, like a historical record?
I mean, yeah, but there's nuances to stories as opposed to Protestants would tell you that these stories were like this, and this is the word of the story. And I think there's more nuances. It's more it's more metaphysical and.
Yeah, and I'm not saying I'm Protestant. I'm not Protestant or Catholic. I'm literally like, I don't believe in the Bible.
It sounds like you're agnostic then. Okay, fair enough.
I wouldn't necessarily say I'm agnostic, but I think I don't believe in any organized religion. Let's just put it that way.
You're still shopping around.
Yeah.
You're still shopping around.
But
okay.
I just want to point you a quote. So like, let's say, in the Old Testament, right, we have this verse here from Escalations chapter 1 verse 4, right? It says, about the premise of the earth. It says the earth abideth forever. That's what it says, right? And then you have this other verse in 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 10 that says the elements shall melt with fervent heat, the earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. So we kind of see a theme here, like all over the Old Testament and the New Testament, but more in the Old Testament especially, where you see these contradictions, right? If the Bible was really the Word of God, don't you think that there would be kind of like consistency with the Word?
I have an answer for that. The first one, the earth is forever. It is, as far as we're concerned, right? We won't outlive the earth. According to them, we won't outlive the earth. But after we're gone, the earth will still be here. But the sun has to go supernova or hypernova at some point. Once it does, it will fry up everything here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like that specifically.
Well, I also don't really believe that the sun is what we've been told. Like, I don't believe. Like, look, I just want to make it clear. I don't believe in organized religion or organized science, like mainstream science.
Let me put it like this, Pocho. I believe the sun serves a purpose, and at one day its purpose will end. I mean, that's
all right.
If you understand what I'm saying, right? Like,
you said nothing.
No.
Well, this is just one example. I don't want to harp on this. I'm just saying that.
What you mean I ain't saying nothing? What you mean?
There's not nothing to do with what the man said. One day the purpose will end, but he's talking about
right. I'm just trying to say that there's a lot of contradictions in the Bible, and to me, I kind of see the Bible more as a work of fiction, to be quite honest, that tribes, that a historical tribe, the Israelites, right, needed to use to kind of
so what you're saying is that you
have
don't
a culture, things like that.
It sounds like you don't believe in the Holy Trinity.
I don't believe that the Christian God exists. I don't believe in any of these stories.
So what do you believe in, if anything?
I would say I am kind of like an agnostic, but I do believe that there is like an energy, like a consciousness, an eternal universal consciousness that we would call God. But I don't think it's a personal God that's described in the Trinitarian formality, where it's like, okay, you have this personal being that you could pray to. I think it's more like an energy, kind of like Eastern philosophy, if you know what I'm saying.
Taoism and Hinduism.
Yeah. But obviously Hinduism, they have their own gods that I don't believe in. But
yeah,
around there, yeah.
Do you have the academic meaning to those things? Where is he? Where's Roches?
No, because I do believe there's a higher power, and I do believe that there are other universes that exist, parallel universes, interdimensions, things like that. And
wow. wow, bro. I said that same thing, and I got ostracized for it.
What did you
Hey,
What did you
Colorado,
say? Parallel
Oh,
universes?
really?
What's good? What's good, Henry? No. All I
Yeah,
said
Parallel
was that.
universes?
shout out to
Yeah, because like I mentioned, the sun, and that will end, and eventually. And I mentioned the same thing, bro.
Me so mad.
I said the same
Fighter,
thing, bro.
Fighter, are you a watcher? Do you watch JLP's show? Are you into that type of
Well,
but on a serious note.
your question. Let me tell you something about your question.
Do you watch him for edification?
Amazing.
Jesse Lee Peterson, bro.
The great white hope. 4 more years.
Yeah, that dream was dashed against the stone.
Trump was sent by God.
What the hell?
I mean,
you know how they believe that Trump was sent by God?
I do watch it. Listen,
no, it wasn't sent by God.
No, he's a false idol. I didn't vote for Trump. No.
I watch it because it's funny, like you said. It is funny, and it's a lot of trolling, and I know there's gonna be things I'm against, but I still watch it because it's entertaining. And the dude, I don't think people understand that he's a troll. He's a comedian, and I don't think people understand that.
Do you think some of the things Jesse Lee Peterson
do you think some of the things he has some truth,
definitely.
Some of the things
lays out. There's things that I have many truths, but the way he twists them, he says it
it's
almost
a lot of half truths. It's a lot of
it's a lot of half truths, right? But he says it so raw. It's like, yeah, bro, okay, like you kind of going hard on the truth, like you're not telling kind of the other side of the truth, like yeah, okay, yeah.
Sorry about that. I think my connection went out or something. You guys can hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay.
Like an example, JLP will say things like, all these black people are shooting and killing each other. I'm like, yeah, but you didn't forget to mention
they're lost. They're lost.
But he didn't forget to mention.
Yeah, wait, but fighter, hold on, bro. You gotta start talking about Jesse Lee Peterson, and that's not what I wanted to get into with Henry, dude.
But you left and came back. And how you left and came back?
No, I left because of my connection. But you were talking about Jesse Lee Peterson before I went away.
Roger says you're a lost person, Pocho. Pocho is a lost person who doesn't know terminology.
Yeah, according to some rando, I'm a lost person.
Oh man!
Wait, is he referring to like religion? I don't know.
I found Roger's dad though.
We started talking about JLP. This is
you niggas are crazy. Black people. Let me tell y'all something. If you don't ever hear me say preach again, they can kill me tomorrow. But let me tell you something. We're not going to ever get anywhere until we look into the mind of a black man. He doesn't think correctly. I don't care what he is. He can be a doctor. He can be an astrophysicist. The nigga ain't got no sense. You talk to him. You talk to a black man. He doesn't understand the world. He's never built anything. The most the black people have ever done, they did it here in America under white people's help. When they were in Africa, they didn't do nothing.
Damn.
I found Roger's dad, yo. That's Roger's dad.
Yo, that's kind of fun.
No, but seriously, going back to the Bible, and actually, this kind of gets into what you were showing, Bro Tep, with.
Yo.
What?
We talking about something else, man. Hold on.
Wait, no. Listen. Let me finish. I don't want to be talking about Jesse Lee Peterson all night, bro. Like, come on, seriously.
It's not about all night, but we was talking about it.
Listen, the guy's dumb. What else are you gonna say about Jesse Lee Peterson? Like, there's nothing to say. Who cares about Jesse Lee Peterson?
We were getting into it, man, and you're interrupting. We were getting into it.
Yeah, but I have questions for Henry, dude. I have questions for Henry.
What?
Okay, fine. Go ahead. Talk about Jesse Lee Peterson. Go ahead.
All right, go ahead. Talk about your perspective of the Bible. Okay, go ahead.
Just get it out your system.
Well, that's more interesting than Jesse Lee Peterson. What the hell?
No, it's not.
I hate Jesse Lee Peterson.
Right? Like, who wants to hear about that guy?
He's grating on the nerves, man.
And all right,
I know, bro.
The only reason.
See, the thing is too about Jesse Lee Peterson. I used to watch him a lot back like years ago.
This dude is screaming at his phone because he won't let me speak. Go ahead, man. Talk about the boom.
No, wait. I'm not using my phone. This is a PC.
All right. Fighter. About Jesse Lee.
Go ahead, fighter.
I said I'm good, man. Forget it, man.
No, fighter.
Okay,
I'm interested to hear it. I want
Fighter,
to hear
you
it.
about
Go
to
ahead.
forget it, man. You forget it, man.
No, fighter.
Just
I
say
wanna
it,
hear
dude.
man. Go
Fighter, just
ahead.
say it.
No.
Whatever it is you're gonna say.
Because I
I'm
was,
good. Let's talk about that Bible, man. Let's talk about that Bible. Come on, man.
Oh, come on, man. I was listening
I
before
want the
all of that
Bible.
other stuff.
Nah. Let's talk about the Bible, man. Niggas want to talk about the Bible. What the fuck?
Well, listen. Look, Henry, I'm just gonna say this, bro. Like, I understand that OG De Rancho and his crew, right? Obviously, a heavily Catholic influenced, channel, right? And they
Many
seem
are
to think that.
Orthodox. Rancho himself is Eastern Orthodox.
Oh, he is.
Yes. And
Oh, shit.
so many of the people on the channel, they're Orthodox. There's probably more
Wait,
Orthodox than Roman Catholic.
So why do they regard the Catholic Church in such a high position, like the Holy Church? Maybe it's because they believe that the Orthodox Church is the true church. I don't know.
The schisms of 1054, but
Okay.
Orthodox are Catholics by one holy
Yeah.
Catholic
Yeah,
Church.
I was gonna say that.
The divide is usually that the Pope is infallible. Orthodox believe this.
Right.
So
Right. Yeah.
bishops.
Catholics believe that you need to listen to the Pope, and Orthodox are not like that.
Right. They have their bishops in their parts
Councils.
of the world. Yeah, councils. Correct. Yes.
Okay, I see. Oh, okay, so that makes sense. Well, let me just say this, right? I understand that they seem to always say that, in order to be Hispanic, quote unquote, or whatever, you need to be a Christian, right? Specifically, not a Protestant, because our foundation doesn't seem to be Protestantism with the Spanish Empire. Do you think that I can't be Hispanic or whatever if I'm not religious, like specifically Catholic?
Well, I don't think so, because I'm an example. I come from what many would consider Protestant background, and I'm Hispanic. But our ancestors were, many of them, nearly all of them were Roman Catholics.
Well, are like the Spanish side of the ancestry, right?
Yes, Spanish, Portuguese, Iberian. Yes.
Okay, so I understand that you don't think people can change through the centuries, and that just because the people who colonized other people like 500 years ago, that doesn't mean that you can't still obviously be a part of a specific genealogy and not believe in what they believed. I mean, do you think that's possible?
Yeah, I mean, and that's a complicated question that I'm not the expert on, but I think that you can be Hispanic and not.
Well, it's not really that complicated. It's like Hispanic is more of a culture. It's like,
yeah, but the theology component plays a big part into what made Hispanic countries Hispanic and what we know them as, by way of our ancestors and what they practice. But
okay, all right,
good question. I don't have the satisfying answers for you, but that's a good question that you raise.
Yeah, because my perspective is like, I'm Latino or Hispanic. I guess we'll just say that for lack of a better word, right? My perspective is that I'm Hispanic no matter what. Like, that's literally my genealogy. You know what I'm saying? That's the people who I descend from, but more specifically, of course, the admixture and all that. And it doesn't matter what I personally believe. I think we're all individuals at the end of the day, and just because you don't adhere to, the Bible doesn't change anything, in my opinion. It's kind of like Jews, it's like their culture. Sure. Ashkenazi Jews, there's two types, right? There's like the very cultural Ashkenazi Jew who's like an atheist or an agnostic, but still has a lot of religious elements within their culture, even though they don't believe in Yahweh or the Talmud or anything like that themselves. But then you have the very Orthodox.
But is that rather ethnic or by religion? And that's where Jews.
I think it's like ethnic.
Yeah, but many Orthodox Jews would dispute, and Hasidic Jews would dispute, that you lose that once you become a secular Jew. And the state of Israel is a prime example.
Doesn't the Talmud say that like the Jewish so-called race spreads through the mother, and I don't think theology. Well, yeah, I guess you're right, because you have to be like you have to actually believe in Judaism to adhere to that, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
From Talmud rabbi Jews that I've spoken to, that's what they say. If you go to the state of Israel today, and you look at the composition of what type of Judaism they practice, a substantial majority of them are Orthodox Jews, Reformed Jews, secular Jews, Reformed Jews, right? Culturally Jews, aren't the Jews that have sway, power, or Jews. They're just there on whether it's on birthright or just there because they're visiting, aren't considered Jews or aren't considered members of the parliament. So they draw a distinction there. And then the Talmud becomes very complicated because this is like a very like scholarly, lawyerly text.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, the Talmud is literally just volumes upon volumes of rabbinical sieges that were written over the years, right?
Upon values with no grammatical
no real structure. No real structure, you know?
Correct. Yes. So it's open to interpretation, and I've talked to a rabbi who says that that's part of why Jews are such good lawyers, right? Because it's just ingrained in them that the Talmud, since it's open to interpretation, that they're bound to be good lawyers because this is a book without like any like periods or comma. But if you read the Talmud, this is like a book that's really open up against interpretation. And the scholarly rank, it's in scholarly rank. It's not that you take a test and you know more than X, Y, and Z, the other Jew, but it's rather that you scholarly know how to interpret the Talmud more than the other Jew. And this is like what you see when you go to yeshivas. I grew up with Jews, and I've always been really curious about this, but that's what I've gathered from them. But I'm not the expert in this. I'm just saying what I've been told,
I know.
Right?
We're just having a conversation.
The scholarly Jews would tell me that that's just a wrong interpretation, and that literature isn't for me because I'm not a member of the tribe. But depending on who you are, what you get.
Okay, I see. No, I'm just the whole thing with Judaism.
I've myself I've been to Tel Aviv, and
okay, all right.
It's an interesting dynamic that they have upon secular Jews, where I've come to terms that Jews there in the state of Israel and Jews here that I've known growing up, they draw a distinction between American Jew and Israeli. They're two different things, and a lot of the times is that we like to conflate those two and say that they're both one, when in reality it seems like they're both very different.
Okay. The whole thing with Judaism is I've heard that like the Talmud has copied a lot of stories from the Romans. So my whole thing is that and it's not just the Talmud. I'm talking about the Bible too. Everything, the Torah, the Old Testament, the New Testament, everything. I see this more like an ethnogenesis. And when I say that, I mean like I believe that these stories, and their gods, how specific it is to their environment at the time, to their tribe, the Israelites. I just see this as a way for them to not only build a culture around their people as, okay, we're the chosen people of God, but also like to kind of advance against some of their enemies that were attacking them during those ages,
Yeah. So that's where the maternal Jewish line comes from, right? Where when they were at war, they decided that the maternal line with the soldiers that were coming back should have kids with these women that are at home to reproduce more Jews, and that's what's written.
Yeah, that's where the story comes from. Yeah, that's where the whole myth comes from. Yeah,
and then there's the myth of Israel, the state of Israel, where many rabbis will argue that the state of Israel is just a myth, not an actual place, and many Hasidic Jews, the guys with the top hats and the curls, interpret it for that to be the myth, right? It was written in the Talmud that you are to respect the laws of the country you go to if you're a visitor, whether it's a monarchy or a democracy. And many rabbis, took that into consideration until they were exposed, the exposition of them being in some such countries. But that was just what was written in the Talmud. So, I mean, it's really complicated. I'm just going with what I understand from it. But what's your question, if I may ask?
So my question is, don't you think?
I'm not the Jew here. I don't know much about it. I'm just going from what I know.
No, yeah, I just use the Talmud as an example, but this applies to the Bible. This applies to everything. In my opinion, bro, and I'm asking you too, like, don't you think that the Bible with the laws and everything, of what God forbids and what God allows, don't you think it's always, ethnic specific? And don't you think that it was just a bunch of stories created by an ethnic tribe just to kind of leverage themselves?
No, because Galatians 3:28 tells us Greek or Jew, Gentile or Jew, slave or free, you're Christ in one. And the new covenant, as the story progressed, but the new covenant tells us that this is that our Lord Jesus Christ, by Holy Trinity, because he was divine, is what we go forth with, as opposed to what Jews teach, where they're the special people, and they're truthfully they're not the modern day Jews.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, that's what I say. But Galatians 3:28.
Yeah. I mean, no, I agree with you, and that's why the Pharisees didn't like Jesus, according to the stories. Is because he was preaching almost like universalism, and they were very ethnic centric, and they didn't like that. That he was
right. I mean,
saying all these things.
The Roman Empire is very interesting because it was unique in the sense that it was Christendom in one, right? They expanded their empires from far east and far west, right? And the ethnic component is that they self-selected with their people, and then this is where we get to divide. I mean, Martin Luther was a German nationalist who came about, and much of Tio Adolfo preached about that, and that's a heresy. It's more universal if you believe in Christ, because we're bound,
right?
If we believe in him in one. But King Henry VIII, right? He wanted a divorce and he couldn't, so he created the Church of England, and Martin Luther with Lutheranism. So that. And
so that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, it seems like all throughout history, all these denominations of Christianity,
history, but those denominations that were very much different from the Ecumenical Council were much different than what we see today with Protestantism today, with the Southern Baptists, with the Pentecostal, with the Jehovah's Witness, with the Mormons, with John Smith, the Mormons, right? Who was like a part of the English elite, and they went to this land in Utah and they rewrote us
exactly
the Mormon in the story, which is like a heresy. It is a heresy. It's factual.
Yeah, and it literally benefited them, their interest at the time. So I was just basically gonna say that I think religion's used to control people. Like I obviously think that just in general, but more specifically,
those religions where we agree on. But the ones
because the Mormon, the Book of Mormon is a perfect example, bro. Like, I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's like a perfect example of how people will literally just make shit up just to advance their interest at that present day. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I agree. I agree 100%.
Right.
The history,
Book of Mormon.
the history of religion in general has been used to manipulate people to conquer. I'm under the impression
that Jesus Christ never existed. Like, I don't think there's any historical proof that we have to support the existence of Christ.
Rumors and
no. Look. He existed, but it wasn't one guy. It's a bunch of people. He's a compendium of people who were out there doing these things that look like miracles. Right? If someone, let me ask you something, right? If you guys are doctors and you go somewhere depending on how advanced you are, right? Let's say you're a modern doctor. You know about germ theory. You know that leeches don't help you. You know that spirits don't cause sickness. You know all these different things. You know that slowing the heart rate down can mimic death. So you're going through places where people are still in the stone ages, and someone is in a coma, and you go and do some herbs and you get them back to life. They're gonna say that you resurrected them. You know, they were in a coma, low heart rate. You can't even get a pulse. You do something and you crush some herbs and you do these different things. When you cure that guy, there will be stories going around about you that you're some sort of miracle worker, that you're resurrecting people from the dead. Maybe there's another guy who's good at farming or whatever, and the soil. Guys like, oh, the soil cannot be, nothing can be done with the soil, Jeremiah, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, you know what? If you put these 3 seeds here and then you wait for the certain time, blah, 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 you put water, and then all of a sudden you come back the next couple of weeks or month, the crops are growing. Stories will circulate about you turning bread into fish and all kinds of other things, right? So when you collect these stories over time, and some people who want to rule over the masses, and they're like, you know what if we get all these different figures, a guy who was good with medicine, another guy who was good with philosophy, another guy who was good with agriculture, another guy who was very physical, and they said they saw him walk on water, and you mix all these people together and you make one guy. Now you have a figure that you can rule over people with, and they can do whatever you want. That's what I think.
Okay. Well,
that's what I think.
I was just gonna say more about the historicity of a guy named Jesus that supposedly performed all these miracles.
Yeah.
And I just don't believe it, bro. Like the Talmud, for example. Many people have said, "Oh, well, look at documents like the Talmud. They record the existence of Christ."
Why are you latching onto the Talmud if that's separate to Christendom?
Well, have you heard of the historian Josephus? Josephus, the Jewish historian.
Vaguely, don't know much about him, but I've read excerpts about him. Yes, more or less.
Well, he's like an outside source that a lot of Christians have used to prove, that like Christ was a historical person. You know what I'm saying? And they do use outside sources like the Talmud to prove the historicity of Jesus. It's not just like the New Testament that they rely on. It's other documents too. And I was just gonna say, based on what I've seen,
hold on, everyone. Roy Chess, why are you talking shit? You have the link, right? Why don't you hop on in here? You gonna talk shit about the duties right here?
The fuck? Poacher status. Wait, hold on. Let me read it. What? Poacher status would need to understand concepts to get anything out of any subject. The fuck does that mean? We're talking what? Learning how to reason correctly requires some understanding of concepts. What concepts are you talking about, bro? What's the context? This is why some people can't understand me, because they reason incorrectly and form incorrect conclusions. No one's talking about you. We're talking about Christ. We're talking about the Bible. No one's talking about you.
Yeah, and he's opining on that. I think he's opining that you're coming to incorrect conclusions. On these things. Okay. But he's saying it over in the chat. Get over on here and talk that shit.
And I just wanted to say one thing. I could be wrong. I'm not a expert when it comes to religion or anything, but I did hear that some people say that even the books, the Bible was based off of Egypt. It was based off of an Egyptian religion originally.
Yep. No, yeah, that's also the same conclusion I'm coming to. Because like Yahweh, for example, he looks remote. Like if you look at the story of Yahweh, the God of the Old Testament, and you look at the Egyptian lion gods like Bez, Beset, I think that's what his name is, from like the 18th century BC. They're very similar. Very similar. One divine God, creator of everything, created earth out of water. Like everything that's in the book of Genesis is literally straight up coming from these records. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm just saying. Look, listen, Henry. I'm not trying to say.
And if you notice, I'm sorry, not to cut
Mhm.
you off, bro. I just want to say, if you notice, growing up, I remember because I grew up in a religious household. I grew up Baptist, and I always remember that you could not question things. If you would ask questions like, "Well, why is this way?" or "Why is that way?" or if all of these things transpired in the past, why hasn't anyone come back today to, why can't anyone perform these things today, or why we don't have a Messiah now or a prophet
Mhm.
now? You would ask those things, and people would look at you with like the look like, "Are you a psychotic to even ask that?" Even as a kid, 'cause, kids ask a lot of questions, and then I can just remember asking certain questions, and even in church, and they'll just look like, "Just shut up. It's not meant for you to ask questions. It's meant for you to just watch and soak it in."
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, no, that's kind of what I'm doing right now. Like, this isn't my first time questioning the Bible. I've questioned the Bible numerous occasions throughout my entire life. It's only recently where I'm starting to come to the conclusion that, like, and not to be vulgar, and not to be offensive, but I'm just gonna state it how it is. I think the Bible is full of shit. I think it's like a fairy tale book. I think that if you believe in the Bible, you might as well believe in, fairies or some other mystical creatures out there. It's just, to me, it makes no sense.
Is it because you don't understand concepts, or why it is the way it is, or?
Oh,
Can,
Roy Chess,
can you not attack? Can you
Chess.
not attack
Yeah, you're the guy
people's
that's been
intelligence?
talking shit, bro.
Well, I'm asking, why do you believe this? Like, is it because you don't understand, or
Yes,
what's the
God.
reason?
Well, okay. First of all, when you say you don't understand the concepts, I just talked about this with Henry. The Bible, right? And we use other examples too. They're open to dozens of interpretations. So, what exactly concept are you talking about? What are you trying to say?
If I step away to grab a sandwich before I pass out here, will you kids behave?
I'll behave.
If you leave me the throne, I will behave.
Yeah, if you leave Henry the throne. If you
Yes.
leave Henry the
Yes.
throne.
Sorry
I
about
don't
that.
have.
What was you saying,
Bro,
bro?
Tep,
'Cause I-
I'm your neighbor.
The-
Let me hold you down.
You can.
Oh, Rakit, are you back?
yeah, man. I had backed out by mistake. That was a
Oh,
mistake.
okay. So basically, before Roy Chess showed up, I'm just saying that. Look, I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm really not. This isn't the first time where I've questioned the Bible and have researched these things. I've done this many times. It's just that now recently I'm kind of coming to the conclusions that I think the Bible is a fairy tale book. Like I said, if you believe in certain stories of the Bible, you might as well believe in werewolves or whatever else. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of the conclusion that I'm coming to, that it's fiction.
But why?
I don't know, Poacher Status. You've ideologically speaking, you believed in many strange things, where it makes it hard for me to believe that you are set in stone on this belief.
Well, I mean, listen. The things that I used to believe in the past, those are more ideological things that, when you do more research, you could easily change your mind on. Like the whole concept of racism and all that stuff. I'm talking about a more spiritual, in-depth, somewhat personal thing, like religion. It's not the same as, oh, I was racist a year ago and now I'm not. I don't think you can really compare the two.
Yes, you can. You can't compare them because they're related. They're called concepts.
Concepts. Okay.
Yes.
So Roy Chess, what concepts are you talking about when it comes to the Bible?
I mean, Poacher Status, what makes you not racist today that a year ago you believed that made you a racist?
Okay, well, for one, I'm not sympathetic to any white nationalist causes anymore. I'm strictly for the advancement of my people now. I don't care about white nationalists, this, that, and the other that I used to believe in. That's for one, right? But these are more political things. These are. I'm sorry.
Who's your people?
Mestizos.
Mestizos.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know, indigenous people as well. I see us as, you know, brown people that are suffering under the same thread here. But that's neither here or there. But what I'm trying to say is that those things are more politically orientated. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, you could change your politics at any year or any 2 years, whatever, how long you believe in these things. Religion is a little bit more personal and it's more spiritual too. You know what I'm saying? So you really have to kind of divest into these things. And that's kind of what I'm doing at the moment. I'm not saying that everything in the Bible is incorrect. Like, I do believe King David was a real historical person, for example. I'm just saying that, do I think it's a historical record? Do I think it's the word of God? No, absolutely not. Do I think it's a mechanism of control that the elites use today? Yes,
I agree.
absolutely.
Yeah. And have used for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
It definitely is something that's been used for hundreds of years to manipulate and control people, to make people docile, to make people not question anything, to give people, a hopeless people, a blind faith to follow, while they, you know, able to manipulate and take advantage. And you know, especially when it comes to resources in the land that a lot of these people were conquering and colonizing.
But Henry, let me ask you something, bro. Like, you really think you can't see the difference between, like, hey, you know, I come from a heavily religious background, to, hey, like, a year ago, you know, I was like, you know, sympathetic to like the white nationalist subculture, and now I'm not? Like, you can't see the clear difference between the two?
I mean, perhaps you're being genuine. I can't confirm that, but could be the case.
Yeah.
So can I ask you a question, bro? Who's the guy with the guy beneath Fighter? What's your name, bro? The one we were just speaking up to about religion.
Henry.
Oh, your name is Henry?
I am to the left of Fighter.
No, I said to the guy under.
No, Pocho Status.
Oh, Pocho Status. So I just wanted to ask you, Pocho Status. So what made you like get into like white nationalism and everything? Like you said in the beginning when you were watching it, what sparked your interest in it?
American conservatism, the subculture behind it, conspiracy theories, all that stuff kind of led me towards white nationalism, or at least sympathetic to certain ideologies pertaining to white nationalism. Years ago, I was, you know, into like Alex Jones stuff, you know, conspiracy stuff, New World Order, that type of thing. And then when Trump got elected back in, like, I think 2016, right? That's kind of when it shifted towards more like the far right political spectrum.
Yeah.
And this is, you know, during these times I was kind of going through like a libertarian phase, you know. I don't know if you're familiar with that political ideology, but
no, I'm not.
Yeah, so libertarianism, I'm not going to explain it, but it's okay. So man, where to start? Okay, so libertarianism is basically the belief in free market capitalism, but and American expectationalism. That's what it is. It's like a form of American conservatism.
Okay.
So they believe that everyone should succeed, that there shouldn't really be competition.
Yeah, to put it bluntly, sure, but they do believe more in the exercise of loose borders and things like that.
And humanitarianism,
that intervenes in people's humanitarianism. Exactly. So I kind of started getting into that type of stuff, and I started watching like online personalities like Steven Crowder. I'm pretty sure you're aware of him. Alex Jones, other people, Stefan Molyneux, things like that. I was kind of always like a nerd, I guess, not necessarily a nerd, but maybe I had an interest in other things kind of pertaining to politics. And then that kind of shift gears towards like ethno-nationalism, you know, and the right in the whole, okay, we got to protect our borders and stuff like that. So that's kind of the camp that I fell on. I was like, you know what? I don't fit in with the left-wing people, you know, I don't fit in with BLM stuff, and I also don't fit in with you know, these far right conservative dudes, but I am a conservative at heart, so I'm like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna be a whig now. I'm gonna be a white nationalist. I don't care if I'm Hispanic. And I was kind of in that culture for a long time. but I recently got out of it.
Okay. Yeah, it's a lot of black people too that don't really fit in with BLM, man. So like it's funny.
Or just leftism in general, not just because BLM,
leftism,
it's yeah.
But see, another thing is like what I think I spoke with Fighter about that. BLM is not really a black-owned organization. It's really
it's not. It's a white. Yeah, it's completely white-owned. It's basically.
But that's
BLM is basically.
They've been doing stuff like that for years, taking like chameleonizing themselves under a black.
Oh, they do it with us too, like the National Council of La Raza back in the day.
For profit, for own personal gain, and pretty much what they did was make a business out of profiting off of black bodies to be able to.
That's exactly what BLM is. BLM is a white-run organization. They do absolutely nothing for black people except for creating trends and hashtags. But they get all this money from banks and stuff like that. And not only that, but like, has BLM ever fought to end things like cop immunity, for example? You know what I'm saying? Never. So that's just kind of
Oh, I'm sorry. I just want to say one thing too. I had agreed with Fighter. Like as far as like when we was talking on the last stream a while ago, like it's about personal responsibility to an extent. Like if you growing up in the hood and there's some dude that's saying he can't do this or do that, and he's just not really trying. Of course, you're gonna chastise him like, nah, man, you're not trying to do nothing. But at the same time, it is a systemic structure that has been designed and put in place to keep, especially Black Americans at a disadvantage when it comes to trying. I'm not saying that that's an excuse to not try anything. I'm just saying that's a reality, because we all know racism is based on resources. Racism is based on resources and it's based on money. And all you got to do is follow the money, and you'll see that the same group that's telling you it's not about the money are the ones that's raking in the money and the resources to be able to further advance their group, and to make sure that they keep an advantage.
When it comes to white supremacy, it's kind of hard to. I don't know the origins of white supremacy, but I know it exists. You know what I'm saying? It's more like a classism thing. It's weird because it's like racism mixed with classism.
Yeah, classism mixed in with but it's crazy because the Black community has been at the bottom for so long in this country that poor classics is associated with the race. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
That's how weird it gets. And when you look at the people that control the media, people that control images and everything, of course, Black Americans, we don't control our own image, so we've never had a positive light shedded.
Yeah. Same thing with us. Like BET, for example. That's a perfect example. Like BET, the shareholders are all white. You know what I'm saying? It's not really black owned.
Yeah, it's a white owned company.
Yeah.
And that's why when Bitcoin asked me, do you agree when you got channels like BET? I'm like, BET is not even white owned. BET hasn't been black owned since like the mid 2000s. And you're able to notice that in the shift in what that they're putting on television. Because earlier when it was black owned, you had I can remember BET, you had soul music, you had Bob Johnson. You had different shows, educational shows, displaying Black culture in the United States.
Rakim, sorry, carry on. I want to piggyback off of what you said.
I was just gonna say, it was like when it was black owned, it was more positive shows on BET. Of course, we had things like Rap City in the Basement, which I'm pretty sure Fighter grew up watching, because most people, we grew up watching that. But as time went on, it was no longer black owned, and you seen the shift in the shows canceling out and other shows that was produced.
I could be mistaken, but I think Rupert Murdoch, the guy who created Fox, I think he actually at one point kind of invested in BET. I'm not so sure.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, when you look at the history in this country, it's been a lot of things that has had black labels but white owners. Like even a lot of people who we grew up in the hood eating Aunt Jemima, Aunt Jemima pancakes, which was a stereotypical picture of a mammy from slavery days who babysitted
the South.
Children. The South, from the antebellum South. that was put on there. We all our lives we thought that was a black owned because we saw a black face on it, and that's how capitalism works. And you know, capitalism is intertwined with racism in this country. See, I'm not talking about the people that, you know, call black people niggers and call, you know, like, oh, I hate them, Klansmen marching. I'm not talking about that. Like what me and like I was speaking with Fighter about before, that's bigotry. No one's really worried about that because you can arm yourself and protect yourself against people that may want to do you physical harm or something like that. But when it comes to the psychological warfare and capitalism and the economics, that's where racism thrive at. You know, because the same people that'll tell you it's not about the money are the same ones that are controlling everything. And
no, but it's not just in America. Like, it's global.
Yeah,
like
it's
like
global.
they rule the earth. You know, they rule the earth.
No matter where you go in the world, and that's one thing I would say with religion. No matter where you go in the world, the people that are poorest are the most darkest and the most religious, and the people that are the richest are the least religious because they'll speak religion when it's convenient, but they don't practice it with their actions unless it's time to get a vote. Then they'll start, you know, quoting scriptures and different things like that to get all of the poor people to vote for them to keep them in positions of power. But other than that, no matter where you go in the world, it's always the darkest and the poorest that's the most religious, and the richest that are the least. So
no, it's very interesting because even like with religion, for example, you know, you can look at things like Judaism, for example. You know, like Judaism, I think there's a verse in the Talmud that says that light skin is a blessing from God, you know, and that dark skin is evil or something like that. And I think Islam also has these same sentiments too, you know, where Muhammad is supposedly like a redheaded ginger white guy. You know what I'm saying?
And like, see,
it's just
what you were saying with that, like when you look at the conflict between Israel and Palestine, I have no dog in either fight. Doesn't mean I'm not empathetic. You know, doesn't mean I'm not sympathetic to what's going on with Palestine. But when you look at both sides of the spectrum, the black Israelis, the Ethiopian Jews have been sterilized within that country. They've been discriminated with housing and different things like that. And then on the West Bank with the Palestinians, the black Palestinians are treated like garbage. And majority of the black Muslims in the Middle East are treated like garbage. All you got to do is look up videos in Yemen and everything. These people live in trash-filled squalors and are not even
it's not even just the black Muslims and the black Jews. Like, bro, this is so deep, man, that I honestly don't know why it even exists. But like the Mizrahi Jews, for example, you know, the ones that are like from Middle East, right? Not the Ashkenazis from Europe. They're treated like crap in Israel too, bro. Bro, like darker Jews, man, they're not treated with the same respect as the Ashkenazi Jews are in Israel. I've noticed that.
That's a complicated because it breaks down to positions of power, but the Mizrahi Jews
and
are
and the funny thing, what you were saying. The funny thing is, like you said, white supremacists is global. Even when you look at the Middle East, when they come to the States, we'll consider, you know, Middle Eastern people, we call them Arab. Like, okay, they're Arab. But over there in the Middle East, they consider themselves white versus, you know, the darkest people in the
Well, that's the U.S. Census considered Middle Eastern people white.
Yeah, I was going to say that, like the Syrians in 1910, I believe it was, they were considered white, Yeah,
Arabs, Aramaic, Phoenicians are considered white according to the U.S. Census, right? If you're Egyptian, Moroccan, Lebanese, Iranian, Persian, you're considered white.
I think they just do that to get more numbers. I don't think, obviously, American society treated these people as white people. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, it depends.
Rather how the U.S. Census phrases the question, right? The U.S. Census phrases the question that they just identify as white on applications without knowing the implications of what that means. And many of them would say mistakenly that they do that just because the census tells them that if you're from North Africa and the Middle East, you're white. But historically speaking, that has never been the case. And I mean, even today, we can dispute that that's not the case.
Well, it's don't get me wrong, it's anti-Arab, you know, propaganda that has been pushed in the U.S. But for the most part, when you look at Arabs, they usually blend in. They usually live mostly in white populated areas. They'll do their
Yeah,
business in
well,
black populated areas, but they live in white,
that's
mostly white.
that's also a really important point. If you look at Detroit and Highland Park,
Yeah,
where
and
Asians do the same
Dearborn,
thing too,
Michigan.
by
where
the way.
they live in upper middle class communities, and they were displaced by their own governments. These Lebanese or these Syrians were engineers, etc. And when they come back here to say Detroit, New York, Chicago, they they're working in different positions. So economically, it's skewed in their favor for them to faster assimilate than other groups. And you see it. Lebanese are one of the highest earning when it comes, according to Pew Research, but they're the highest earning group. We're talking like 86,000 according to this 2016 Pew Research data.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I know.
Rakim, I wanted to address your point about Bob Johnson and Viacom.
Yeah.
Many of the problems that I've seen as an outsider looking in is that, Bob Johnson is, I don't know if you hold him to high regard because he was a black billionaire. And
to answer you on that to an extent,
go ahead.
I mean, I had respect for Bob Johnson until I seen that he sold BET, because we have a history. We have a history of that. It's certain people within the black community that sell out for their own, individual what's the word I'm looking for, agenda, or for their own individual gain. And like that's why like people like Jesse Lee Peterson and Candace Owens, even though I agree with some things Candace Owens says about a family structure and different things like that, and what feminism has done to destroy masculinity and stuff like that. Some things she says that I don't agree with, but I'm able to chew the meat and spit out the bones, with some. But we've always had people within our community that was quick to, white people realized that it was certain things that they couldn't say publicly, so they will put black faces in high places. And when they will put black faces in high places, those black faces will be able to speak the things that they would not be able to say publicly. And those are the people that they're paying. Those are the people that they're paying a pretty penny to go against, the agenda of the people. For instance, saying like racism is all in black people's heads. And
how about Oprah? Like Oprah,
I don't really.
What are your thoughts on her?
You know what?
She has a channel, and she's held her channel and her shareholders differently than compared to Bob Johnson, who sold his channel earlier to.
The thing with Oprah is that Oprah is just a face. Like, she's just a personality figure on TV.
And she and
you know what I'm saying?
See, here's the thing, man. What people don't understand is that like a lot of black people have been so poor for so long. Like, not all. I'm not saying, of course, not all, but I'm just saying as a collective group in this country, that some people, once they get a taste of those finances and a taste of that status and power, they don't want to go back. They're not willing to sacrifice what they earn for the betterment of the group. So a lot of the time,
that's what I was going to say too, is like, don't mistake it. Like, people say, oh, well, if white supremacy is real, how do you explain people like Oprah? And it's like, well, what does Oprah do for the collective community?
Exactly. A lot of these
one person in a high position doesn't mean anything. She could be a propagandist. She could be this. There's many.
Rakim, if I may, do you feel that these individuals that make wealth, they owe it to the collective? That they owe like a unblinded due diligence to pay up the collective?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that in general, but mostly.
And I'm asking. I'm not saying that either, but I'm asking.
No, well, I don't think they do. But what I'm saying is that most people operate from a tribal perspective in this country. Like you see, like Latino businesses, they're going to build up Latino business to be able to have a structure to be able to combat when is prejudice, or combat when it's some type of agenda being pushed against the Latin community. Same thing with Arabs and the Asians, as we've seen what the Asians have done recently. Because you can't really, if you have no money, you have no power to get anything done. you know, which is what you'll see. For instance, the perfect example, what you'll see is black people that's fed up of the mistreatment and unfairness in the justice system. And don't get me wrong, some people took advantage of that and, you know, just looked at for a reason to riot. But it was some people that was out there, you know, for a fighting cause. But a powerless people and a powerless group is going to riot versus a group who has resources and finances that's going to cut through legislative and get things done. You see what I'm saying? And I don't think I don't think she has a willingness to look out for herself. But, you know, I've noticed that with a lot of these people, when they do go out and they look out for themselves, and then they find themselves in some certain unjust situation, as you would see, like with the O.J. Simpson trial, then they come running back to the black people for support. The same black people that they look down upon, or the same black people that they thought they were above because they've made it into wealth status. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. You know, it's like you know, we all know that historically speaking, the powers that be have always tried to divide non-whites against each other. You know, they've done this with the natives and the blacks, pretty unsuccessful. But this is what they always do. You know.
I myself, I don't know if you're familiar with Robert Smith, but I spoke to him for 45 seconds at a conference a year and a two and a half years ago, and he's someone that I hold to high regard because his success story is really
I think I've heard of
unmatched.
Him. He's a black billionaire, right?
Black billionaire that paid the debt
for
Morehouse graduates. But he's a finance hedge fund manager, and I work in finance. And many of my friends in college were Alpha Phi Alpha, and he was a brother of that fraternity. And you know what he does, it's exceptional for a black billionaire to go, you know, to give the commencement at Morehouse and pay off their debt, which was, I think it was $45 million on his bill. And I think there has to be that. There has to be that fun. I can only speak to the financial.
It has to be, what you were saying, it has to be resources.
Right. Wait, Chess, are you still here, bro?
And,
Wait, Chess.
I'm still here.
Okay. Hey, man. So I just kind of wanted to ask you.
Hold on one second, bro. Hold that thought. I just want to let Henry finish.
Yeah,
and also I want to clarify something that you said, Henry. No group is any group can fall victim to this. And I'm not saying that victim is
absolutely. Dominicans, people in my background have fall victim to it. Yes.
Yeah, we've just been here if it was as many Dominicans in the United States as it was African Americans, if it was 40 million Dominicans, and those same Dominicans had a chance to interact more with the American system, because here's the thing: the way America thrives is that somebody has to be at the bottom. Someone has to be at the bottom for people to rise to the top. You see what I'm saying? And if it was as many Dominicans here, and let's say it was an area in the rural South where it wasn't any minority and it was mostly whites, if Dominicans started migrating down there, they would feel that discrimination. They would feel things changing to prevent them from gaining more property and gaining more businesses if they had to directly interact with these people. You know, like, that's all I want to say.
Fair enough.
Now, I could be wrong. I'm just stating my opinion on things.
I mean, I don't have a strong opinion whether it's going to go one way or the other, but you know, like Robert Smith's story is telling, he worked for Graham Bell, the telephone company. You know, he got his internship just calling up, and then they gave him an internship, and he's an MIT graduate, and then he's at least one of the most exceptional black billionaires. To own a hedge fund is you know, would be African American men running a hedge fund and go back to the HBCUs despite not going to one.
Who's still here?
I'm still here.
All right. You guys are here.
I don't think Fighter's still here.
I think
Fighter, you not here?
Asleep. I think Fighter fell asleep.
Which one of you guys know Macho?
I know Macho
myself.
Like personally?
No, not personally.
But I know him personally, and he's a upstanding gentleman.
Okay, I mean,
so you live in the East Coast, I presume, right, Henry?
Yes, New York.
No, I mean, give me a second here.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong. If it's like it may not be certain things I agree with
No,
Macho, but
no disrespect towards your boy. Hold on, but you know, there's something because he keeps. Hold on, let me share this screen here. Can you guys see the screen?
Yeah,
we can see it.
All right, give me a second here. If you can see the screen, then let me know if you're able to read this. Are you able to read this by any chance?
Let me see if I turn my phone sideways if it'll get bigger.
No, you know what? Let me then no problem.
Yeah, I can read it. I can read it.
If you may
try to follow
maximize
a bunch
on
of comments.
Yeah, the comments.
Maximize on the comments.
See,
can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like this, man. Look, Rotep, you tried to follow me on IG, rejected. You tried getting me on your channel, I rejected it. Let's battle to see who gets more subscribers and views to end it once and for all. Why? Okay, so all right, fine. I found this channel, 172 subscribers. All right, that's nice. 716 views, 96 views, 81 views, 490 views, 82 views, 137 views. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, that's me on Tobacco y Ron.
Okay, so
you'll find me on there if you want to see my face. I'm a really handsome guy. I'm a handsome Dominican. But yes.
Okay, cool. I got you. Can you guys let Macho know this is my channel here? Comicocalypse. 367 subscribers. All right. I get it. 34 views, 42 views, 51 views, 62 views, 106 views, 118 views. But what I do with you guys is not what the fuck I do. You see this? These are tutorials, right? 197 views on 38,000 views, 1,000 views, 13,000 views, 270 views, 32 fucking thousand views. Can you let him can you talk to your boy? Can you talk to him? Have a talk with your boy. Have a talk
right now. You can address him right now, right here. And
yeah. Hey,
lay it out for him.
Macho, just stop. What the hell? This is YouTube. This is YouTube. I could talk to about whoever the fuck I want. I'm not stopping you from talking about me, which you do, because I'm overhearing like.
But Brotep, Brotep, are you able to read the comment that he wrote to you? Because I couldn't read it per se, but if you're able to do that.
Oh, I mean, I read it, but I mean, some people saw it. You want to see it to see I'm not making it up?
Let me go full screen, but go ahead. Let me see what I got. You tried to follow me on IG, rejected. You tried to get him on the panel, I rejected.
It's not. Listen.
Yeah, so it sounds like you and him have a disagreement on certain topics that I hope maybe he gives you the time for you to hash it out with him. But I can't speak to that, man. I'm not Macho, man. Macho is
just stop, man. I mean, quit while you're ahead.
I will say
it's very clear that he was making these sorts of accusations, like I'm leeching off fighter.
But perhaps
I don't have any talent. I literally, you guys know this was shown in a school, right? On how to use Inkscape. All right, so just stop. Yeah, what up?
Perhaps he means well, and he's trying to address you, and I hope that you two can really hash it out.
I don't think Macho means well. I don't think Macho means well.
No, Macho means well.
Oh, to whom? To whom does he mean well? Not the black people.
Uh-oh.
Not the black people.
I didn't know you were Dominican, Henry. I thought you were Mexican.
No, yo soy dominicano de pura cepa. Para que lo sepa.
Okay. Are you Boricua? Like is that how you would define yourself? Boricua?
You're from
no, I'm not Puerto Rican.
Henry?
Yeah,
Okay.
NYC.
Oh, so a Boricua is a
I'm,
Puerto Rican. Okay, I see.
Boricua is Puerto Rican. I'm from Higüey. I'm from El Este. Yeah, majority of my family, they're from El Este, Higüey, La Romana. My grandmother is from El Sur, close to the border of DR and Haiti, Pedernales. Been there, lived there for a bit. Beautiful country and all parts are worth visiting. I've been there. I've been to Haiti. I've been to DR. I've have family from all colors.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I would assume that since you're Dominican, you know, not to like, I'm not trying to come out a certain way, but I would assume you're more like your phenotype is more like you're like a mulatto or something.
Yes.
You know.
Well, I mean,
like
I have more interesting questions. Henry,
my
what
dad
was
is 50-50. I'm 60, 57 European, 33 Sub-Saharan African, and this entails Congo, Senegal, and etc. And then, like, believe it or not, really small component of Taino, like 4 or 5% Taino.
No, I can believe it. Yeah, down there in the island.
Yeah, but that's just me. I mean, my mom and my dad is more 50-50 mulatto. My mom is more like criollo, like 80-20.
All right. Mayor de la Raza.
Pero
Henry, listen. What was
yeah, go ahead.
What were the things that you wanted to debunk? You said you wanted to stop my disinformation. No, do you have any examples?
Oh man, my apologies because I lost my train of thought on that. Because I'm really enjoying this conversation I'm having with Rakim.
Oh, no problem. All right.
But I can't debunk it now. But
what was it?
Nothing comes to mind now. I think Brotep, you're doing well, and I think you mean well. I mean, you know, you're fortunate you have me and not members of my camp that are here to attack you ferociously.
You mean they're fortunate?
No, you're.
Remember what
no, I don't
Rufac
speak
said?
for them, so maybe
I'm
it's
not stuck in here with you. You're stuck in here with me.
Very well, because this is your channel. I accept it, but
well, that's the thing, right? See how we can have discourse on an even platform here. On their platform, what would they do? What would they have done by now, right?
Like the Fighter Complex platform, or
no, not Fighter, but you know, any one of your camp, Henry.
Well,
what would they have done to me by now?
I can't say. I come from my channel. Co-host is me and Klaus von Reck, a Colombiano, and if I'm on there, you're invited on there to speak your piece.
Yeah, I was on there. Remember what happened?
I wasn't on there.
Really? What happened?
You're making me laugh, right? Yeah, that's the thing I'm talking about. Like a lot of. I'm not trying to pick a fight here, but
no, not at all. No, nor am I.
A lot of this ego shit. And the thing is, I've never done this before. Like, you know, show my real channel, right? Because I'm a humble fucking dude. But this dude is sitting here, making all kinds of accusations. Like, you ain't shit in your channel. Yeah, but dude, you understand that I'm starting from zero, right? Before that comic channel, I had another channel, and it was high. You know what I'm saying? And so,
yeah, bro. Honestly, bro, you could have just been doing that. Like, if you really wanted all the subs and more attention,
you
could have just been doing that.
Yeah, and I'm thinking about just going back to doing that because I don't need this shit for somebody who can't even hold a. Can you? All right, you know what? Why don't you guys? The way that I speak here, I get it. Most of you, your camp. I don't mean you directly, Henry, but most of your camp. That's what I'm addressing here. Most of you say I'm a pseudo intellectual. I have a fucking what do you call that shit? thesaurus opened in my lap or some shit when I'm talking to you, right? But he's really stupid. Okay, I'm really stupid. Got it.
No,
Show me a video. Hold on. Show me a video where Macho is speaking, and you can't look away because he's so articulate, and everything he's saying is so riveting and groundbreaking. Show me that video. That's what gets me mad, because this dude was sitting up here saying I'm leeching my style off of him and Fighter, and that what do you call it? I'm his groupie. Motherfucker, you watched every single one. This dude watched my 8-hour streams. Look how many hours we've been here. He scrubbed through my 8-hour streams, all of these, to see every time that I mentioned his name. He did this, and I'm the groupie. I don't like these sorts of things. It gets under my skin a little bit. I'm going to admit, when fucktards think that they're actually smart, like it.
I'll tell you this.
I can't, man.
Bro, I don't know why I'm laughing. Why the fuck am I laughing?
I'm so sorry, Pocho.
But bro, you sound much of like my Haitian contemporaries that I went to school with, that are intellectuals.
No, it's just the way he said it. These fucktards, you know what I'm saying?
But
sorry, man.
I think your dispute with Macho calls for a debate with a neutral moderator.
Really?
Yes.
What?
I think
do you understand?
You and him no, look, listen, I'm gonna
Henry, do you understand that we could pay him $500, you won't debate me, right?
Well, I think he would. if given a neutral moderator.
But debate about what? Like, what's the debate?
I don't know.
Race?
Whatever
honestly,
Rotep and Macho are disputing, I think they can be in debate if
I don't
you
care what the
guys come to an agreement.
Listen, I'll debate.
Okay,
him.
wait.
I don't care what the topic is. Macho? Yeah, I'll debate him.
Now, whether
okay.
if you win or not, or if you have your rebuttals fleshed out, polished, and embellished.
I don't need rebuttals. I'll debate him right now with the food in my lap. I'll debate Macho right now.
Hey, this is a little off topic, but what you eating over there, bro? Tip?
Oh, I got some.
Just the McDonald's triple deluxe.
No. We cooked some rice and beans, like it's Haitian suswa. I don't know if you guys ever heard of suswa. Give me a second. You've heard of it? Okay, cool.
Of course.
Yeah, it's good, man. It's suswa, and I mean you've heard of it, but hold on, in case anyone else hasn't heard of it. Let me go.
Well, I'm familiar with griot as well in the Haitian.
Ooh, griot.
Yeah.
That's the one time, I'll dig on swine. Like that's my one sin. Other times I'm almost Muslim, right? I don't really rock with swine.
No, I don't. I laid off of pork, man, about I say about 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't realize how much eating the wrong food can really have an effect on your health later on down the line. All of that sodium, all of that fat, man, pork.
Yeah, and plus, supposedly, and I've seen this happen, but I haven't tested it under all the conditions. But supposedly, there's no amount of cooking that gets rid of
all the diseases in pork.
All the stuff in there. Yeah, all kinds of parasites and hold on. I wonder.
Denise says she offers her platform for this debate, bro.
Oh yeah, look, I will debate this dude right now with the food. I don't even have to put the food away. That's what got me so mad.
Messi. Come on, U.S. Messi, right?
No, I mean, there's some stuff there, but I don't know what. Kieski Messi?
Kieski Messi.
Yes, thank you, but I don't know what you're saying before that.
I wanted to ask.
Comment allez-vous, monsieur?
Comment allez-vous? But that's French. That's French.
More French.
Oh,
because I
je vais bien, merci. Je vais bien, merci.
Yeah, oui, aussi. Yes.
Et vous?
Yeah. Et vous?
Comment allez-vous ce soir? Comment allez-vous ce soir?
Très bien.
Vous avez
très bien. Très bien.
Cool. Vous avez discuté les sujets très bien. Je suis très impressionné avec ton intelligence.
Comment intelligence?
No,
Oui, très bon.
I'm very.
Oui,
You discuss the topics. You discuss the topics very well. You discuss the topics very well tonight, and I'm very impressed with your intelligence.
Yeah. So, no, you know, Henry. You know, he seems like a cool dude. You know, compared to other people that I've come across.
No shade towards Henry. Yeah, compared to other people, like, so.
Appreciate.
The thing is, what I just
appreciate.
J'apprécie. Yeah, look.
How do you say you're welcome in French?
Is Henry saying I
de rien,
appreciate
de
it?
rien, de rien. No, de rien. That means
yes.
it was nothing. Don't worry about it. You know?
Right. I took 3 years of French, and I went to a French school.
No, you got to hang out with French people. People get that. Like, if you want to learn, like, I'm not gonna go take a Spanish class. I'll just hang out with Spanish people. You know, like that's how the CIA does it. All right, they send you someone to make you learn the shit, right? So of course they give you classes for the grammar and stuff. But when it like wheels hit the ground, they send you somewhere and live with these people for 3 months before we send you to fucking Baghdad.
That's the best way to do it, right? to destabilize the country, right?
Yeah, right. To go destabilize this country. And if I
remember in the service, that is, you got to have the highest scores. The most prestigious MOSs or AFSCs, as we call them in the Air Force, are the jobs. The linguists, where you go to 2 years in Southern California to learn the language, and then they throw you into this place where you really, the saying goes, you lose it if you don't use it, and language is one of those things.
One of those things. For me, what I said to you is cat nails on a chalkboard to my dad. He'd be like, "Oh, please stop."
Yeah, my dad speaks fluent. My dad, fluent French and Haitian Creole.
There you go.
He was.
But what I spoke just now was not Creole, by the way.
He was treated poorly when we went to Quebec. That's a different conversation.
It's a different kind of French.
Because they looked at his French as colloquial and slang.
Really?
Oh man, like ghetto.
They have some fucking nerve to think anyone else is ghetto French. The Quebec, and those dudes.
Quebec. And I went to a restaurant. So my middle name is Henry, and I was getting reservations at a restaurant in Montreal, Laval, a suburb, right? And I give my full name, and the what is it, hostess, the waitress.
Mm-hmm.
She gives me the menu in French, and she is disappointed when I say, "No, madame, no, so I'm American." And she goes,
"She was probably trying to holler." She was probably trying to holler. And in Canada, all these women are horny. That's what
the white French Canadians are my least favorite whites. They're less hospitable.
They're my least favorite whites.
They're less hospitable than when I went to spring break in for Mardi Gras. Because at least in New Orleans, I can have my drinks out in the street, and the Cajun or the Bayou French, although it's slang, it's very accepting. Where in Quebec is they look down on you.
Yeah,
so
and they have
she gives me this menu, and she looks down on me, and the next table next to me is talking down on me. Look at this guy, a Frenchman. I'm like, no, I'm not a Frenchman. République Dominicane, Dominican, and they're like, oh, you might as well be Haitian, and
wow.
We're not going to discuss this here because
I don't know about all that. They love Haitians up there. I don't know what
they do.
What you've been
because
told.
When I went to a bar, the Haitian I met was a Haitian elite, and he was at McGill University, studying structural engineering, and he was like, "Wow, it's great to see a Dominican up here." And I'm like, "Wow, I heard there's a lot of Haitians up here." He's like, "Yeah." But he was born and raised here, and he was like detached from
the culture.
Haitian. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he did acknowledge that he's like the elite of Quebec, because he.
For those watching, this is what Suspa looks like.
Go ahead.
It's basically a bean gravy. For those watching, if I'm sharing the screen, I don't know. The African admixture is does a few things about IQ, but
okay.
Is the screen on?
Yeah, I can see.
Okay, so this is Suspa right here. It's basically beans, and like you boil the whole thing, then you take some of it and crush it. Nowadays we don't crush things. We put them in blenders. So you take half of what's in it, you scoop the bottom of it, and you put that half of the beans into a blender. You add some spices and stuff like that. Then you put a little bit of the water from the pot that was boiling. Then you mix it all back in together, and with some oil and stuff like that. It's amazing. It's like
you're making me hungry. Making me hungry.
I had a I had a question for Henry and what's your name, bro? Posh or something like that?
Pocho.
That's Pocho. Yeah.
Status.
Do you guys think it's a direct correlation between like someone's behavior and poverty? Like if people act in a dysfunctional way based off of circumstances of abject poverty, or do you think it's a correlation between those two?
Henry, if you want to answer that first, go ahead.
Cassave, bro tip. You familiar with cassave?
Oh, I love cassave. Cassave Mamba.
Cassave Magma, yeah.
What you know about Cassave Mamba, yo? Let me find out this dude had a Haitian girlfriend or some shit.
I did.
That's probably what it is.
She was from Fort Lauderdale. It didn't work out well.
All right.
And
so she was preppy too, probably them college girls.
Yes, it was in college. It was my freshman year of college, and we broke barriers about when it comes to racial animosity. But cassave, I had it every morning with my coffee.
Mm-hmm.
You familiar with
Get you hooked, man.
Keep it.
Well, the thing is, I don't know if you're pronouncing it in a way that I'm accustomed to. Keep I don't know what that is.
It's by way of Lebanon, and I know.
There's a lot of Lebanese in Haiti.
The Haitian national soccer team has like Lebanese elites on their soccer team, like the lighter skinned ones. But keep it. And I went to the Cibao and I crossed into Haiti from Dajabon. I don't know if you're familiar with that. And I found keep it on the Haitian side. Macaroni and cheese as well. I also found that on the Haitian side when I went to.
We do some of that.
Pétionville.
Pétionville. That's kind of rich area.
Yeah,
So
I heard it was
you
a
had
rich
yourself a good
area.
time.
Yeah. I've been to Haiti twice, and I've enjoyed my time there. But I've been with the Haitians that I went to university with, and it's a different light than what than the Haitian American who's not from that status. But,
Cool.
yeah, a lot of the foods I've liked. I like the soup. I like the macaroni and cheese.
What kind of soup did you get? Soup Jumu?
Yeah, soup jamoun. Soup jamoun, yeah. They even had bacalao. You know about salted cod, right? Bacalao.
Yeah,
and don't forget the mud cookies, right?
Yeah, right.
Let's not do that. I don't.
No.
Yeah,
that's
a joke. It's a joke.
No.
That
It's not you, Pocho.
exist.
It's
Pocho.
and it's not you either. Listen, it's not you, Pocho, and it's not you either, Henry. I'm talking about. I'm directing this towards your camp, Henry. Those kind of people who, in their videos, this is what they do. They say stuff like Haitians, what they eat is mud cookies, and they let that ride through the whole show. Now, dare I make a video about Mexicans or Dominicans or anything like that over here? Yeah, this guy doesn't talk about anything else than Hispanics and all that fucking short bus shit. But the stuff.
My
the stuff
pleasure
that,
for you letting me on here, and I speak as for myself as an individual. The mother cookie does exist on both sides. It's Dominicans que pasan hambre, but on Haiti is more prevalent. But in Haiti, there's good foods, good cuisines that could be translated into the other side of the island. Now we have a more Spanish name to it, but the cuisine I had in Haiti very well, and the Haitian that I employed.
Oh God!
He's my best friend to this day. He hits me up on WhatsApp every single day.
Bitcoin?
Felix Salud.
No, not
Felix
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
You know how. You know what kind of life I'd have if Bitcoin hit me up every single day and I gotta hear, "Hey,
but
what are you doing over there?" Hey, you don't even let you finish your sentence. What are you doing over there? I'm eating some rice. Rice and what? Yeah, you eating the mud cookies on the side of yo, Bitcoin.
Why don't you let that girl finish the sentence?
Brotep, bacalao.
Yeah, bananak moui, like with plantain. Yeah, bananak moui.
Double fried plantains. Yeah. That's what I had.
You should have tried it with the boiled plantain. It's more. It has a better. It gives you a better stimulation of your.
They were telling me dip it in the soup. The guy was like,
"Yeah, dip it in the sauce.
Dip it in the soup." I mean, that's what I'm doing. That's what we do in DR. Dip it in the soup. The plantain, of course. It's an appetizer. It's an appetizer. We're having a full course meal. Haiti, there's full courses meal to dispel the notion that there's not no full course meal. There is. I like Haiti. Yeah, it's good.
Who's the new guy that just joined in?
Bitcoin.
But what was the question that Bocho were going to ask me?
Yeah. So Rakim. He's the one who asked about poverty.
Yeah, the correlation between poverty and behavior. I have some opinions on that.
Yeah, more.
But you guys go first.
Criminal behavior.
Yeah, I'll say real quick. It depends on what type of behaviors. Obviously, like if you're talking about burglary, robbery, drug dealing, things like that. Obviously, poverty would have a direct effect when it comes to those things. If you're poor, you can't make a lot of money. You're going to result in, closer, like crime through proximity type of thing. You know what I mean? Like you're going to start selling drugs, to your neighbors or whatever. You know what I'm saying? If you live in the hood or something like that.
Robbing.
Yeah, robbing. As far as things like
drug territory.
Yeah, and as far as other behaviors, like say for example, tax evasion. No, that's I don't think if you're that's white collar crime. Right, tax evasion or something like that. Bank robberies, like I said, that is it depends on the circumstances. You know what I'm saying? But behavior, does it directly affect crime? Sometimes it does, yeah.
Because I was saying that because it's a notion that people like to spew, especially online, saying, black people, that's just how they are. They just commit crimes just based off of the fact that they're just criminally active. And that's a lie. And that's a lie that's been displayed to people to get people to
and you know what? I really recommend a guy called Brother Say. You can find him at brothersay.com. That's SAYE.com.
Okay.
Brotep, you should probably interview this guy, Brother Say. If you don't know who he is, brothersay.com. Okay. If you don't know who Brother Say is, Brother Say has literally done. Go ahead.
No, literally done what?
No, I was just going to say that he's literally done years of work debunking the bell curve, the whole racial IQ statistics. Yeah. He's even tried to debate people like Charles Murray in the past, but they
won't debate.
They wouldn't debate him. He's written a book called Understanding the American Divide, where he really goes in depth into debunking all types of white nationalist talking points. scientific racism, IQ, other race realist stuff. You know what I'm saying? I really recommend him because he'll contact you. Like I used to contact this guy years ago on Twitter back when I used to kind of debate this guy, and he will literally debate anybody. Like I'm not joking. Like it doesn't matter if you're some rando on Twitter with one follower. He will interview you. He will he will allow you to interview him. He will debate you. Everything.
What's his @ so I can reach out to him? I would be really interested in reaching out to that.
Yeah,
guy.
I hope he's still on Twitter.
What's his name?
But
what's his name again? What's his name?
Brother Say. So SAYE. Yeah,
Say.
Brother Say.
Say
And
what?
it's another
Brother
guy.
Say.
It's another guy I recommend that you guys check out on YouTube by the name of Dr. T. Hassan Johnson, which he does debunk a lot of the racist talking points on live as well. He also shows a lot of black male accomplishments that a lot of black men are making today, like as far as with colleges and schools and in business and everything like that. So you guys should check him out, Dr. T. Hassan Johnson. He's very good.
And mind you, this is not some Afrocentric stuff. Like this guy is not a We Was Kings guy.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I can't stand that stuff because it deters what when we make our points, what it's really about, and it's about the money. Like the Hebrew Israelites and different. No disrespect to those brothers, man, but you can't stand on the street corner talking about we're a spiritual man, we're the first man. Why you got these guys in 3-piece Italian suits walking into these corporate buildings, making moves that's going to further advance them financially. Meanwhile, your kids at home are you don't know if the lights is going to get turned out. You don't know how you're going to pay the bills. The kids are barely eating. You don't have a job, any type of educational degrees, but yet you're sitting on the street corner talking about we're the original man. And I think a lot of the times too, when you see that in our community, that's a coping mechanism that a lot of people have to get through their situations. Because I've always noticed that you bring money.
I've debated them, and
anytime that you bring money into play, the same people within my community say it's not about the money. And those are people that really don't. But
the fact is that they're prying they're prying on the elite, on the most vulnerable in our community, the Black Hebrew Israelites.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Their 12 tribes and who they are.
But see, because like you asked them about their background, and sometimes it's like, oh well, I got into Hebrew Israelism in prison.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well that no disrespect, because I'm not trying to. Yeah. I'm like, but that explains it all, because there's no logic. There's no logic within.
I was in Harlem on 125th and Lex 2 weeks ago, debating with Puerto Rican Black Hebrew Israelites who.
Wow! Really?
He was
no, it's like
green eyes, red beard, red haired, and I was telling him, what is it about? You telling me that
a white Black Hebrew Israelite. That's hilarious.
Well, he's Puerto Rican, and he was, like, phenotypically speaking, he was red-haired and green eyes.
Okay.
And
well, that doesn't mean anything. I mean, like, Native Americans have green eyes, so what?
But he was more European phenotypically looking than me, but they were disputing Black Lives Matter, so they weren't addressing me. They just started ignoring me when I started asking my questions, and I just walked away and took my train back downtown. But that was my time in Harlem a few weeks ago with them, and it was them on one corner, it was the 5 Percenters on another corner, and it was the NOI, Nation of Islam, on another corner. Preaching to
okay, and they're like in competition, huh? The NOI, the Black Hebrew Israelites.
Yes, because the Black Hebrew Israelites, they aggressively go against brothers who fall into Islam, whether it was in prison and whatnot, and Elijah Muhammad.
Right.
When you get to the bottom of it, there are heresies that are, prying on the most vulnerable of those communities, and you hate to see it. And I was, or
it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit.
Yeah. So don't fall into it. Don't fall into any of those But
dude, I came across Black Hebrew Israelites, bro. I came across Black Hebrew Israelites when I was like 12, bro.
I just want to say something, fellas. Because I'm gonna get ready to get out of here. Appreciate Bro Tep. Appreciate you for letting me come back on your platform to speak again. And I just wanted to say, because a lot of people throw these what we were just talking about, a lot of people throw these concepts out that Black people are just innately criminal, when a lot of it has to do with poverty. And a lot of people are very ignorant of, like I say, the history of Black Americans in this country. For some reason, people.
Rakim, I wanted to address your question to that. I really did genuinely want to address your question.
I just wanted to say one thing. What you were saying about that, Henry, before you finish. Also, if you guys get a chance, look up the Borgian projects in Naples, Italy, and you'll see some of the same enact criminal behavior. No different from in Brazil, parts of Puerto Rico.
The mafioso behavior in southern.
These were drug gangs that were killing each other in the Borgian projects because of lack of opportunity, the job market being in disarray. And they was asking one kid in Italy, they said, why are you looking out for these drug dealers? Why are you being a lookout? He was like, because these drug dealers give me $300 a day to take back home to help me support my mother.
For those on the panel interested, a good show covering southern Italy and the mafia is Gomorrah. It's on Netflix. Gomorrah, Gomorrah.
Yeah, and
where these southern Italians, Moorish looking, cover those and the projects of southern Italy, Naples.
And I've made this talking point before. Every ethnic group that's come here of European descent has participated in criminal activity. Being placed in ghettos, especially when you look at the early 1900s,
especially the Italians,
and a lot of people.
Italians. How about the Irish?
The Polish.
The Polacks.
All of them are Jewish. You know how many Jewish mobs were running around out here?
Yeah, the Jewish mafias.
Oh yeah, like Merlansky,
the
kosher mafia.
It's different, but
but
there's variables to that, Bro Tep.
Oh yeah, what's up?
Well, to different extent, some European groups were more successful than other in their crime.
That is true.
Where maybe the Irish were more successful than the Sicilian because the Irish were earlier assimilated, so they were forgiven for their crimes earlier than the Italian that was forgiven 20 years after.
Because a lot of them took their money. And they put it in a political, and they advanced it politically. They were able to watch their money.
Fair enough. No, I agree wholeheartedly.
More into politics.
Yeah, what up, everybody?
You know what they say, right? Like I think they say that the biggest lynching or whatever, the biggest lynching that ever happened in American history was like Italians or something like that.
Yeah, well.
Is that true? Like, I'm just like wondering. Like, is that true?
Well, I don't know.
I don't think that's true.
I don't.
That's what they say. Like, 12 Italians were lynched somewhere, like at a pole or whatever. I don't know.
I'm sure they were hanging people way longer before Italians.
In New Orleans.
I forgot the parish of the outer skirts of New Orleans. The mayor of New Orleans 2 years ago. The mayor of New Orleans 2 years ago, Creole black woman has apologized to those lynchings of Sicilian Americans, but they were lynched by the Klan because they were Roman Catholics and Greeks as well.
Right.
Many of them were half Greek, half Sicilian.
This has to be a lie because Anthony Brian Logan says the Klan only brought toys to kids. That's what the Klan did, according to Anthony Brian Logan.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, I remember. Yeah, like he had that conversation with Destiny, and Anthony Brian Logan was like, "Hey, look, I'm not saying anything. But when I grew up, the Klan, they just, every Christmas they would send toys to little big black kids."
Yeah, I don't have any negative opinion about the Klan. They didn't do anything. In fact, when I was younger,
they didn't do anything to me.
Rakim, if I may,
they would send toys to little black kids with a burning cross on their line too. Yeah, I'm pretty.
Rakim, if I may answer your question very briefly about the poverty and correlation. I think the correlation is weak. I think it's 0.3 with crime and poverty. I think what you see, again, I hate to go by Pew Research, but if you have specifically for African Americans, if you have two parents in the household, many of them are more successful than white Americans.
That is true. That is true.
On income and on educational attainment. So if you're hearing it from me, it must be true. But that's what I've seen, and that's what I hold to be true. And that's my take on it. I think it's a weak correlation, but I think it does exist. There's elements of that of the community that do commit crime because of poverty, but a lot of it would circle back to cultural and parents not being at home. And if that can be solved, I think the African community would be more successful, and probably even more successful than gringos, white Americans.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Rakim. I think you were gonna say something. No, I was just gonna say that, like, when it comes to the whole.
I think that
Jinx.
Yeah, you go ahead, bro.
Moreover, if I may add, the elites of African. There was a book I read recently this year where the elite African Americans that 2 generations ago attended HBCUs that now attend Ivy League schools. You know, the elite African Americans now send their kids to Ivy League schools. It's a shame that they don't send them to Howard or to Morehouse. But you know, there's an element that those kids of elite African Americans that are part of fraternities and social clubs like Nantucket, they play a role into keeping other Black people down. Now, you can verify this or confirm or deny this for me, but this is what I've read. I can pull up the book for you, but that's my say on it.
Yeah, you never studied. Okay. You never studied the 12 tribes, man. You never studied that or looked into that.
Don't exist.
You mean like the 12 tribes of Israel?
What do you mean it don't exist? What are you talking about, bro? Christianity derives from it.
I nothing from the Bible is true, bro. Nothing from the Bible is true.
If you think that, then you're lost already. But I mean, listen.
I also wanted to.
Rakim, I sent the book in the private chat. It's by Daniel Murray, who's a like 3rd generation Black elite from like the Northeast. The original Black elite by Daniel Murray and the story of the forgotten era. This comes from 2017, but it's the from Reconstruction to the Jim Crow era. This Black elite cultivated themselves, and they disconnected themselves from the community today speaking. And I send the book in the private chat, but I'd definitely love to discuss that with you in a future in a future dialogue, if you're interested in that.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to check that out. I just wanted to clarify one thing. Like what I would say, yes, it's definitely a direct correlation between poverty and crime, not just within the Black American community, but with communities in general. I had made this talking point on Brotep's channel, I believe that might have been yesterday, with the history, because I'm from Chicago, Illinois, with the history of the Humboldt Park riots here in Chicago, which had taken place in 1977 with the Puerto Rican community. And I'll just read part of the article before I get ready to leave. But it was saying, as a result of harsher conditions in Puerto Rico, the incentives to come to the mainland, which is similar to Blacks coming from the South into the North, you know, the harsh conditions in the South, lynchings, segregation, lack of jobs and education. They migrated to the North to be the labor force of the North to be able to prosper in some type of way. As a result of harsh conditions in Puerto Rico and incentives to come to mainland America, Puerto Rican migration to Chicago spiked during the 1950s and 60s. Puerto Rican communities in the city were then displaced by highway construction, which a lot of Black Americans suffer from that as well, when they will put highways, run them right through Black neighborhoods. and completely displaced the people within those neighborhoods who
Mhm.
was already suffering from housing
Are you reading from a book? Are you reading from a book,
into
Rakim?
other.
No, he's talking about
Yeah,
the
I'm reading from an article
1957 Highway Act.
on the internet.
So yeah, so
Yeah, the
basically they
1957
put
highway.
ads out there to get Puerto Ricans to come to the United States to work on strawberry farms, vegetable farms, because that's what they did. They put articles and
But many of those ties are with the the Young Lords, right? In Chicago specifically, the Young Lords and
Young Lords.
Black Panther
Yeah.
Party.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, I'll just finish this part. It said the Puerto Rican communities in the city were then displaced by highway construction, urban renewal, and public housing projects. The Puerto Rican population moved from the near west side to the near north side to West Town and Humboldt Park, areas of white working class neighborhoods populated by European immigrants and their children. New Puerto Rican arrivals joined the new Puerto Rican enclaves in West Town and Humboldt Park. By 1960, 25% of the city's Puerto Rican population lived in West Town. Most Puerto Ricans face racial tension with their white neighbors, especially with white authorities. They encounter police brutality, high unemployment, housing discrimination, poor housing conditions, and poverty. It said, beginning in June 12, 1966, the Division Street riots affected the Humboldt Park area. Puerto Ricans were gathered in the streets celebrating after the Puerto Rican parade downtown. The celebration was in honor of St. John the Baptist, after whom San Juan, Puerto Rico is named. In 1966, the parade for this celebration was officially renamed the Puerto Rican Parade. After white police officers shot and wounded a young Puerto Rican man, a riot began and continued for 3 days in spite of police efforts. The riots signified the difficult conditions Puerto Ricans faced in Chicago, including high unemployment, low income, racial discrimination, poor housing, inadequate education. In the aftermath of the riot, the new community organizations and community leaders more actively engaged in city politics to work to improve conditions of Puerto Ricans in Chicago. According to a University of Chicago study, in the years following the 1966 riot, Puerto Ricans ranked police relations as their second biggest problem after unemployment. Although community members spent a decade working for better conditions, in 1977, Puerto Ricans in Chicago still face myriad issues. They experience displacement, housing discrimination, racism, poor housing, poverty, and police brutality. And that's what I was just saying. It's a direct correlation. It doesn't matter if any group is placed in those situations, is going to be a powder keg looking to explode. When you have those elements, that's going to create a criminal mindset and a criminal element. Now, Humboldt Park was a majority Puerto Rican neighborhood, and that was one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in the city of Chicago. Now it's been gentrified, but it was one of the most, dangerous neighborhoods. This was like, as soon as you hit Division Street and Division in California, you see 250-ton PR flags made out of steel, showing that you're entering Humboldt Park, and it was a very, very dangerous area. So I say that just to make the argument that it's not just a situation of black people.
It still is today. It still is today in that area of Humboldt Park and Cicero.
Yeah, to an extent, to an extent.
Well, you know what I really hate?
That's
obviously,
the thing that gets me, because
people those are two different generations, and that's deep, in that area.
Nice. But well articulated, Rakim. I dropped the link for you and the Jamaican gentleman I'm interviewing that perhaps you might be interested in, and after the interview, we'll open up.
Okay, definitely
on my channel for
and
you.
I see you got the book on here as well.
What's that? Yeah, for sure. And if he's Jamaican and you're African American, so perhaps you can give your point of view on the channel. But we're looking to do that next week with him. He's like a Jamaican scholar. He's like 20 years old, but he covers extensively the Anglo-Caribbean point of view that I'm interested in. And
hey, so Henry, let me ask you a question, bro. Like, you seem to be a pretty knowledgeable guy. You understand a lot of these things just as much as people like Rakim. I think that's how you pronounce your name, right? Rakim?
Yeah, Rakim.
So, Henry, like, why are you in the OG camp, bro? Like, you should kind of. Yeah, you should kind of like advance from that not to be vulgar but bullshit, and kind of understand the truth.
Well, as Hispanics, what he puts forth, it is our truths in Hispanoamerica.
Is it?
In our countries, yes.
He's just very statistical. Some people are statistical.
I don't think you listen. I don't think you listen enough to his videos to really.
No, I'm just saying, bro. Like, listen, you're gonna be interviewing a Jamaican guy, right? He's a scholar. He's 22 years old or something like that.
Sure.
And I'm just saying, bro. Like, you understand a lot. You know that there's a system of white supremacy out there, right? You understand these things. Why are you following the OG camp?
No, he doesn't agree that there's a system of white supremacy. He doesn't agree that there's a system of white supremacy.
Oh,
well, not in the way you paint it.
Yeah.
So let me guess. You think it's all like what do you believe? Let me ask him. What do you believe
about what, white supremacy?
Yeah.
I mean, historically, from this country's inception with the WASP, those are the ones I disagree with. But culturally speaking, I'm also opposed to that as well. But when it comes to my history as a Hispanic, that's where we probably disagree. And your history as well, because aren't you?
How does that even mean? The man asked you what form what supremacy takes to you, and then I don't know what
in the American.
that kind of
So
answer
yeah, okay. So yeah, again, in the American context, I disagree with the WASP history of the United States. If you want to call that white supremacy, then we're on the same page. But
well, see, white supremacy is more of like a global thing.
Yeah, the Spaniards didn't enact the same kind of atrocities on you guys in the Latin American sector.
Yeah.
Much less so than the Dutch.
They raped, murdered, and beat you less. All right.
Right, yeah, same shit, different flavor. You know what I'm saying?
What do you think the fire department? What do you think the fire department? Everybody's Fitzpatrick, Fitzgerald, and certain. Look at the sanitation. It's like everybody.
Henry, I'm under the impression that you seem to kind of agree with a lot of what, like, say for example, Rancho believes about the Anglos, right? But let me ask you something, bro. Like,
yeah, which is factual. You disagree with that premise yourself?
No. I definitely agree with some parts of it for sure.
So what are the parts that you disagree with?
Okay, so I don't think it's just Anglos, bro. I think it's a system of white supremacy that's not just that doesn't just involve Anglos. So, like, for example, Biden, right? The Biden family, they're Irish. Trump, I believe he's Scottish. Angela Merkel, right? Big powerhouse over there in the EU. She's German. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Do you think that? Okay, so obviously these are powerful people and players that have ruined people's lives and are deeply, in my opinion, involved in what we're talking about, white supremacy. You could call it whatever you want. And they're not Anglos. So how do you explain these people? And I think even people like Bill Gates, the eugenicist, is not Anglo. Like, he's a Scottish guy. So how do you explain all these non-Anglo people in power, in positions of power?
Well, there's elements of that can be Anglos, and there's elements of that can be globalism. But
right. Well, when you call globalism, I call white supremacy. When you call globalism, I call white supremacy. Because let's keep it real, right? Globalism started in 1492. Okay.
I wouldn't. Yeah, Biden is Irish, but he's more Anglo than Irish. He just latches onto the Irish because it makes him more appealing. But Biden is.
Well, that's what I'm saying. When you say lack onto the Anglo, like, how does he express any pro-Anglo attitudes? Like, I don't understand.
In the American Atlanticist point of view, that encompasses those who are now considered white Americans. Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm just asking you, man, because we have a lot of powerful players in the game that are not Anglos. Okay. People like the Rothschilds, they're not Anglos. Okay. You understand? People like
You
The
know,
Windors. They're not Anglos.
What are they?
You know what I'm saying?
No, the question is, what are
They're
they?
various things. They're not Anglos.
They're Western European. They're Germanic, bro.
Western European.
The Rothschilds are Germanic.
People in there. There are all kinds of people in there.
Yes, they're Germanic.
Entirely.
And Germanic, yeah, of course.
And for the sons of the Rothschild after the 1500s, when he told his sons, go into
you're negating people. You're negating the people.
I'm sorry, what? I can't hear you because Bitcoin is trying to spit something out. What's up, bro?
No, I mean,
saying,
listen, okay, go ahead,
Henry.
Bitcoin. Go ahead.
Yeah, you guys have been talking forever, but like Henry, you said you were Harlem, and you fucking seen this white Puerto Rican red hair. Like, it's kind of hard to like, if you think about it, like some people do learn the history. If you're only studying 1800s, 1700s, and that's where your book, and that's where your mind door closes at. Like, there's so many things that happened before that. You know what I mean? Like, Native American Indians are Hebrew. That's something that you cannot negate. Like, if you believe it or not, doesn't matter. I'm not a Hebrew Israelite. I am Hebrew. I know I am Hebrew, and you are as well.
Yeah, but we weren't talking about that.
Yeah, well, we were before. And
so the point that I'm trying to illustrate for you, Henry, is this. Okay, when you talk about globalism, right? What do you think are the origins of globalism, dude? Because it's not just Anglo-Saxon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's beyond that now. It's the European Union.
Yeah.
But,
No. But like globalism, like, okay, what we would call globalism, the system, is basically like international capitalism and free trade, things like that. Who do you think created that system? No, but it's a big part of it, right? But yeah, but it's a big part of it. It's a big part of it. So what I'm trying to tell you is, who do you think started that, bro? Like 1492, Christopher Columbus on his voyage to the New World, the European colonialists telling, natives that they're a part of the country that they're colonizing. You know what I'm saying? Oppressing them and stealing their resources to trade around the world. All these things that you call globalism originate from Western European white supremacy, colonialism. Okay, and it's not just Anglo in its origin. It's literally white supremacists, including Spanish, Portuguese,
the problem is
English,
when you say white supremacy,
everything.
You're drawing a different point to make that white supremacy.
And
look,
I just wanted to clarify one thing. I just want to clarify one thing. White supremacy is a monopoly game. It's a monopoly game on resources and money. That's the biggest thing that we talk. And anybody can fall. Anybody can be subjugated to it. What I was just saying, no difference with the Puerto Rican community in Humboldt Park, the Latin community in Los Angeles during the times of the Zoot Suit riots and everything, when they was racially discriminated against. And
people think white supremacy is a new concept in the chat.
Oh yeah. No,
how you doing?
Yeah, this is something that's been created.
You guys have been talking for a bit. After Rakim goes, he's welcome, Paula. Go ahead, Rakim.
Okay, I'm about to get ready to get out of here, fellas. I appreciate you having me again, Bro Tep. Shout out to everybody on the panel. Shout out to you, Henry.
Peace out, bro. Peace out.
Bitcoin, Poncho, Derek, and Fighter. Fighter probably sleep, man. I think Fighter knocked out somewhere.
Yeah, Fighter's.
Yeah.
All right.
You've been an honorable guest, sir.
Guys, take it easy. All right.
Yeah. See you in a few hours, because I live stream every day now. So.
Oh, okay.
You understand that everything intertwines. Religion intertwines with politics and race. It all intertwines. Everything is.
So look, I forgot his name. I think his last name is Smith. But he's like the founder. He's considered he's like a British guy. To your credit, he is an Anglo. Okay, but he's considered the founder of modern day geopolitical free market economics. I forgot his name. I think his name is something Smith.
Will Smith?
No, something Smith.
No.
What I'm trying to say.
Oh, you know what? It's Jaden Smith. It's Jaden Smith. You know he wrote some books. Right? No, I ain't joking. He wrote a bunch of books, and he wants to be people's.
I think the problem is everybody's stuck in like 200 years ago, and like nobody's going back.
Yeah,
in 200 years.
Well, my point to Henry is simple. Well, the origins of globalism is literally colonialism. Like the EU, for example, where do you think they got all the resources to create things like the European Union back in the 90s, right? You know what I'm saying?
Marshall Plan. The U.S. invested here in Europe. Good morning, everyone. I will be here
Morning.
for 5 minutes because I'm literally working. Henry, you need to contact me. I need to speak with you about something. I'm Jamaican.
Hey, I didn't approve that.
Whoa.
I'll just
it was with the Marshall Plan because Europe was destroyed. So the US invested a lot of money here, and that's how the European Union or Europe, got out.
The EU was, the EU.
Well, the EU is a I'm talking about the actual European Union from the 90s. Not. I don't know what you mean when you say destroyed. Like you're talking about World War II or like after World War II. What are you talking about?
After World War II, Europe was destroyed.
Yeah. But the EU was formed in the 90s, way after World War II.
No, dear, no.
That's what I'm saying. This guy is stuck on like 100 years of history. Like, you're never gonna find an answer when you're just talking about 100 years. 100 years is nothing. It's just 1 century.
Exactly.
I understand, but
it's like you're looking for an answer when the words were.
No, what you need the community, European community. No. Of course, no, but it's the same. The name changed.
Okay.
Well, if everyone doesn't mind, I would like to interrupt in order to offer a few words of wisdom from our esteemed Jaden Smith. All right, Jaden Smith says, I don't know if you guys can see the screen. Can you?
I'm really doing this.
Can you see my screen? No, you can't see my screen.
No.
Oh,
Jaden Smith, are you talking about?
Yeah, we're talking about history.
Wait, how can you guys not see the screen? You guys can't see my mouse moving here?
Jaden Smith is the son of Will Smith. How can you not know that?
Jaden Smith says, here are some quotes from Jaden Smith. How can mirrors be real if your eyes aren't real? Dun, dun, dun. I am not human, and I don't speak English.
Wait, is he the son of Will Smith?
Wait. The biggest flex anyone will ever have is dying. If a cup falls from a tree, how far away will it be from down? If a cup falls from a tree, how far away will it be from down? The more time you spend awake, the more time you spend asleep. All right, so
riddles.
The thing is, this is why you should never give children money. Don't give children money. You need to have them learn something first, so that they don't go spouting all these pseudo profundities and wasting everyone's time. You, ladies and gentlemen, you may proceed. I just needed to
okay. So so somebody in the chat said that maybe you're thinking about NATO.
Sorry, the North Atlantic, whatever.
He must be on the DMT. No, I'm sorry. I was reading this thing. Culturally Hispanic says Jaden Smith must surely be on the DMT. But what I don't even know what that is. Is that a drug?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so you guys talking about NATO now?
No. Oh, I'm asking, like, is this woman thinking of NATO? Because from what I know, the European Union, as we know it today, was indeed formed in the 90s. I could be wrong, but I know that pan-Europeanism has existed before. I'm just saying the actual union, I think, was formed in the 90s.
The pan-Europeanism does not exist. After centuries of killing each other, and after World War II, is when they decided, if we don't come together, we will disappear as Europeans.
No.
As the humankind.
I understand what you're saying. I'm talking about the concept of pan-Europeanism. That comes from, I think his name was Richard Kalergi after World War I.
I don't know about that.
I mean, there could be a million people who fucking have the concept. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Richard Kutenhoff Kalergi. I think that's what his name was. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with this stuff, bro. Tep.
Yeah, people like to assimilate the Germans with like identification and all that stuff. But
Yeah,
what's
but
going on way before?
I'm letting everyone speak.
Anyway,
I had
what's your
comments on
point?
what Henry was saying.
What's your point?
Yeah.
Am I breaking up or are you guys breaking up?
Oh.
No,
How's your
my
sound?
mic's fine.
How's your sound, Paula?
Okay, you sound okay.
All right.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on some of these topics? On some of these
Well,
topics, what are your thoughts?
that's just joined, and I heard someone say like white supremacy and all that stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, here we go again.
Oh. All right. What are your
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
What are your thoughts on white supremacy?
White supremacy is money supremacy, and in a bit it will be Asian supremacy. Supremacy is the one that the money, the power, the economic and political power. That's it. That's it. You can never compare yourselves. Like from a point of view from an immigrant, my personal story, and I'm sure that you guys have had the same experience. Maybe it brought up you're different because you come from an elite middle class family in Haiti. Because that's a
Oh, so you're Asian. So you're Asian. Okay, I didn't know.
No, she's not Asian.
But
did you say I come from a what class in Haiti?
I think, I assume, I should not, middle class, because many Haitians that live in the US and in Canada and in France and in Belgium come from a middle class or high middle class family that escaped the regime of Papa Duck and Baby Duck. It's a different migration than the migration of Haitian in the Bahamas, Dominican Republics, Chile, and all that stuff. So that's why, and it's, for example, and a great, an amazing parallel is also a lot of West African or African in general migration in Europe or even in the US. Those people come from certain families. You can never, guys. Okay, I will break it up. You can, like, we might go to the same schools, to the same universities, and land even the same job and get paid the same. But when you start as a child of immigrants, uneducated immigrants, that, for example, my mother didn't even finish high school. They have the cheapest jobs ever. And you are living in a country, the US, Belgium, France, wherever. You start from the bottom. Those people already have their, their bases here. It's their country. They own a house and all that stuff. So when you go to the, you go to school, you have good grades and all that stuff, and then you land a job. When you buy your house, like in my case, your down payment is on your own because your parents cannot support you. But my white colleagues were supporting their parents. They got $60K, $40K for the down payment and all that stuff. When their parents die, they will earn money. Things that we don't really do. You can never compare yourself when, instead of getting every month money from your grandparents, one of your grandparents give you 250 euros every month. You can never compare that if you are the one who's sending money to the Dominican Republic or Haiti. You already have a financial disadvantage. So money is a truly power. So when people are in their own country and they have already a middle class status and they're working, of course, very hard to keep that or to move forward. Actually, they're doing the same because you, from the lower class, want to go to the middle class and keep that, but you cannot compare yourselves because they were on the higher level, downstairs. That's, like everyone keeps to keep fights to keep their own benefits. That's normal. So white supremacy is actually power. It's money, and whoever has the money has a power. That's it. That's supremacy. In a bit, it will be Asian supremacy again.
Well, my thoughts, of course, on all of this is not that.
What are your thoughts?
Henry, I think you work in finance. Henry works in finance. I work in finance as well, and we see that every day. Of course, we have disclosure. Disclosure. We cannot talk about that. We can't, but we know how it is, and it's about money, about protecting your own money, making it grow. When you have, like, when you buy your own car, your house, you want to keep it. You want, you want your neighborhood to stay safe, nice, proper, and all that stuff. And you want another house. That's the thing, and that's not something bad. You want to keep your benefits. You want to keep your life the same way we want to keep our nice life, that we can travel different than our parents were able to travel, to go more to restaurants, to enjoy life. We want to keep or ameliorate this life. Like my mom, when she was in Belgium, she only went to the Dominican Republic. I know, like, whole Europe, she was not capable of doing that. She was not. Our parents were not. This was sending money to the Dominican Republic. I don't have that responsibility anymore. My father passed away, so I'm saving. Of course, I would love to give him all my money, if I had to choose. But I don't have that responsibility anymore. So how, like my grandmother, she died this year, and now for Mother's Day, like that present, the money that my mom said, she was like, okay, I'm going to give it to other people of the family. You know how much money you can save? They don't have that responsibility. We are thinking like, oh, if I do this, I can go to the or I cannot send my mom money to this, to that.
I'm afraid to say something.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. I was afraid to cut you off there. I think something was wrong with your mic. I'm not so sure.
Oh. Did I break up again? Oh.
You actually broke up several times.
Damn it. Shit. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry.
So what I'm trying to say, that white supremacy is actually money supremacy. The fact that we're in the parts of the world that we live, or still in the world, white people tend to have more money than other ethnicities, but it's changing, of course. That's why it's a supremacy. It's why when we think about money and power, we have them in our mind, is because they are the examples that we know. But in 30 years or less, and that will change. When we will talk of, that's the thing. And we have to understand that money opens your door, education, money, and that we have to work towards that. We have to copy those models, to work hard, to be entrepreneurs and all that stuff. We also come from other cultures and other backgrounds. Again, it's not the same for children of Bolivian immigrants that did not finish school, to take the shittiest jobs ever in the US, cleaning lady and all that stuff, just to survive. You can never compare those children to the children of middle-class white people in the US, or the children of middle-class Haitian refugees in the US.
I think he left. All right. I was going to ask him a question.
Okay. So,
who are you going to ask
I will
question?
finish now. The children
Henry.
of Haitian middle-class Haitian immigrants, their parents went to school. They knew in their own country how to build things. They already had context. So those children will have an advantage in school, an advantage over the children of Dominican. How you call them? People that work the land, campesinos. Farmers that didn't go to school. That's come on, that's how it is. That's how it is. You cannot, because those children here in Belgium, when I arrived, I had one. You know what my my advantage was in? It was also in the Dominican Republic. My father was 50 years older than me, so I had a very intellectual relationship with my father. Not like the typical father playing around. No, I read a lot of books, and he told me a lot of things. So when I came here, I had the baggage. So in the DR, I also had that advantage. But when I arrived here, children of 10 years old already had read 60 books. They read the whole day. We don't have that culture when we come from a lower class. How many books have you read before you were 10? How many books do you read with your parents? So you don't. Your vocabulary is more extended. There are many factors that we have to compare. It's not just white supremacy, try to hold us down. No, it's not only all the white people. It's a certain class of white people, and of course, they're going to keep and maintain their power and their privileges and their money. I do that too. I've been growing on the ladder, and believe me, I'm doing all my best. I'm trying all my best to keep it and to grow. That's it. It's a game that we have to learn how to play. Yeah.
Well, the schools are different as well. It's not just that, you read books. The whites that you're talking about, the elites, have books that you don't have access to. And the people who are teaching them are experts in the field. Right? So their parents are PhDs. Both parents have PhDs.
Mm-hmm.
So of course the kid is going to be smart, because the parents have PhDs, whereas if you come from a immigrant family or a poor family, probably one of them have a degree, maybe one, and it's not a PhD. There's so many that have no degree. Both parents have like a high school education, and that's it. So of course you can't compare.
My mom,
the school is different.
Yeah, exactly. Didn't even finish high school. I have a friend, one of my best friends, both of her parents are PhD in exact sciences. She didn't study that. She studied with me, but she knew a lot about exact sciences because her parents were PhDs, they were professors, and they were always talking about that. So it's a different world. Even if you go to the same school, the same university, it's a different world. The access that you have to knowledge, general knowledge, some codes that you, for example, of course, Charlize Theron, the actress, like she has a commercial for Dior. Like there are codes there. You see that there are Dios mío, ¿cómo se dice? How do you say that? Okay, I forgot the word in English, but you see that there are some messages that come from painting from the Middle Ages, from a famous French painter. You see some stuff. They have access to things that we do not have. The vocabulary is more extended at the same age because they come from a different background. They have traveled the world. Here, Europeans travel a lot. So it took me years to understand that. And my mom, who didn't even finish high school, she always told me that. Always, and I could never understand. Finally, when you're grown up and you make your own money, you understand. It's like we may go everywhere together. We hang out together. We go to the same restaurants. We have the same job. We earn the same money, but it's not the same. They already have an advantage, and that's not a problem because we want the same things for our children. So that's not white supremacy oppressing you. No, that's people keeping their interest, holding and wanting to better themselves, and that model is what we have to copy. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. We have to copy that model and apply it ourselves. That's it, unfortunately. And that's a cultural change that we have to make as well if we want to succeed in this system.
I agree 100%.
Yeah, so people tell me that I'm racist.
I disagree.
Yeah, I know.
I disagree. I disagree. Just to annoy Paula. I disagree with all that.
Yeah,
that was all wrong. Wrong.
We're living in a capitalistic system. This is what works in this. No, the U.S. is even more capitalistic. That's why you can make there more money. Can I make a little comparison? So there's only one language, English. Here we have, like in Western, the European Union is about 500 inhabitants. In the U.S. we have 365 billion, I guess. However, you are united by only one language. Different cultures, but actually one language. So there, if you put one product on the market, you can become rich, like black lipstick. You can make money with that because it's like more about that than me, for publicity, for everything, for the language. It's only one. Here you have it. You have to translate that in different languages, different legislations, different cultures, so much things. So it's very hard. And even though it's it's also capitalistic. It's a bit more social, much more social than in the US. So the taxes are higher and blah, 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 blah. So, but you have to know the systems of the country of where you are. Actually, it's the whole world is a capitalistic system. So we have to join the game, learn the game. You cannot change the game unless are you going to say, no, I want to change the basketball rules? No, you can't. I want to change the football rules so they adapt to me? No. If you want to make it in this system, you have to adapt to this system. Otherwise, you can go to Brazil or to some tribes in Asia, and that's a different system that you have to adapt to.
That's why it's true. I mean, like the oppression of people is within themselves. Some people are chained. Their chains are not even physical; they're mental. They keep on oppressing themselves. I mean, it's like everybody's been oppressed, and then the first option is let's revolt, let's riot, let's just. This is not the times and eras to revolt. This is not the medieval times. Like, like you could still be enslaved just in your mind, and like it comes a point where it's like the minorities that really prosper and successful, they break those chains, they break those cycles, and they just tear them away. And they're like, listen, we can't fucking beat this system. We're not going to beat it. So let's fucking try to mimic the system and make our own. Like, you cannot try to just go against the fucking machine and think you're going to beat the machine. You're never going to beat the machine. It's never gonna happen. Especially in nowadays terms. Like, this is not the medieval times where they're having fucking wars with swords, and it's just ridiculous. Like, and the people that think they're making their people better by, just constantly beating up the other side and blaming and playing the victim role, whether each side, the white side, the black side, Latin side, that shit is like, it's so fucking destructive. It's like so destructive because now your kids grow up and they're thinking there's an enemy. There's always an enemy. No, there's not an enemy. The enemy is you. The enemy is you. The enemy is you making other people feel like they're the enemy when nobody's the fucking enemy. This is a financial warfare. This is not a color warfare. This is not a spiritual warfare. This is a financial warfare. Period. That's it.
All right, let me get final thoughts from everybody, and then I'm gonna start shutting this down. El Huapo, Roy Trust, what's going on?
Not much.
All right, can we get some final thoughts from you?
You gotta give me the topic. Like we touched on so many topics here.
Yeah, just any words you want to leave us on. It doesn't have to be relating to the topics or anything like that. But hey, how about do African? Oh, Paula's back. So Paula, the middle class Haitians got you. You're back though.
Les enfants de Papa Doc got me.
Papa Doc, right?
Yeah, as far as the culture thing goes, I think that we're still gonna be at odds because the concept, if you understand what I'm saying and you understand what the other people have said, the other people would agree with OG Del Rancho said. The concept that he said that any culture can embrace anyone and anyone can be in any culture. So again, that still makes the word culture very loose, right? It's hard to say that you have a culture if you could just change and adopt into another one. So that the terminology is not very well defined. So of course it's going to cause arguments and confusion when you are using so many words in many ways. And
Okay.
I say that with the term race as well, that there's like 5 or 6 definitions floating around that people are using it interchangeably. And that's what I mean by when I say they're double dipping. They'll use the word in one context, and then 10 seconds later they'll use the same word in another context, which I keep mentioning is called the fallacy of equivocation. You're not allowed to do that in a rational discussion. There are logical fallacies, and you know some of them, but equivocation is a big one. That's how you get the wool over somebody's eyes. If you don't understand equivocation, like if I say all men are created equal, and then I say man is a species, I'm using the word man, M-A-N, 2 different ways, not the same way. One has to do with humankind, such as the Constitution. All men are created equal in the Constitution. I'm talking about all humankind. I'm not just talking about a man or all men or a specific man. I'm talking about all humankind in the context of the Constitution. But if I say man is a species, I'm not talking about that the same thing as the Constitution is talking about. But that's just a simple example. So definition of words is very important in debates. So you seem to be more on the rhetoric side. I'm more on the philosophy side. So there are differences there too. So some of the terminology is shared, but the context is again, well, the words are defined differently. And the same thing goes for math. Some of the mathematics uses the same terminology as well, and that again is a different definition. So, if people want to have these debates or discussions, I should say, to learn something new, at least tell the people that the context you're talking about and acknowledge the other ones. That will stop some of the confusion and people going back and forth and getting heated in the process.
I agree with that. We have to contextualize. That's very important. Oh my gosh, my work ethics. So, I wanted to finish with that. Exactly. Righteous culture entails everything, including the word including. Anyways, the thing is, we don't have to change entirely our cultures. We have just to learn from other cultures that have been successful, and analyze that and adapt those factors that made them successful. That's
Well, I
it.
mean, I don't know how long you've been here, but I wouldn't jump on the train unless you know where it's going. Roy Chess says that African Americans have no culture. That's
No,
what he
come
was
on,
saying.
Righteous. That's BS. I'm sorry. That's Of course you
Yeah,
guys have
don't jump on
culture.
the train unless he's going a whole. He's on some other
Okay,
thing.
okay. No. Of course
He's
I
going a
have.
whole different direction.
Okay.
He's going a whole different direction. So things like jazz, blues, soul food, and black poetry,
Okay.
black movies.
Of
He's
course.
like none of that is black
Fashion,
culture. He's like the Americans
stylist,
have no culture. So
way of speaking,
yeah,
everything. A lot.
yeah. He's saying no. He's saying no.
Come on. What's culture then? If that's not culture, come on.
Well, those are
Anyways,
other ethnicities that are just all under the same circle of black. That's all that is. That would be my answer. That's not just an American.
If she's not used to you, you have to orient her on your Roy Chestness. If she doesn't know what she's dealing with yet, you have to tell her more than that.
okay, no. Anyways, thing is because I have to go back to work. That's what I mean. Like we need to have cultural changes. I mean, like none of my Jewish or Chinese or whatever colleagues are working at home and doing this that I'm doing now. I'm sure about that. So this is a point for me. Work ethics. Like I should be only working and focusing on my work instead of taking a big pause and talking here BS. You know what I mean? So that's a small thing that we can do to change. I have to do myself now to change.
Audience, she speaks for herself. I don't think this is BS. I totally
No,
appreciate each and every one of you.
No, you know what I mean. 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 That's what I mean. So you have to learn from the successful groups. I mean, like, come on, and compare ourselves. Like, where do we come from? What's the education of our parents? Okay, this is where we stand, and this is what we can do to succeed, or at least ameliorate ourselves and our children or our cousins, and that if they want to listen and that kind of stuff. And also seeing that, that the only magic potion is working and studying, like the Jews, like the Indian people are doing, the Bangladeshi and all that stuff. That's the thing.
That's true.
That's true.
Derek M, can I have your last your thoughts for the morning? I was gonna say evening, but
well, guys. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
Everybody's sleeping. Okay.
Out of everything that's been discussed, my final thoughts is to spread to everybody on the panel and and whoever's still listening, I would say just be the change that you want to be the change that you want to see in this world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can, it's just like, yeah, we have our obstacles and everything, but me, from my experiences, just push through, travel the world, broaden your perspective, and just always just self-educate.
Okay. Cool. All right. So thanks for showing up, everybody. In a few hours, I'll be back on here because I stream every day, and I promise not to do any more of these 10-hour streams, and we're doing them again. But that's fine. I'm glad you guys showed up, and ending the stream in 5, 4, 3, 2.